Hello, welcome back to Bottom. My name's Beast. Today we're back with for a new game, Scout for Stars. Fine days. Like I said, after I'm done with Ice Route, I'm going to be playing this one. And this one shouldn't take us that long, according to what I've heard. The menu is looks fucking gorgeous again, so that's a nice plus. But yeah, guess who I'm gonna go for first? Like, I've been told that every route is like roughly 2 hours. And since I'll be skipping the sex scenes, it's gonna be even less, so yeah. Let's just get started. The routes we have available are Hikari after, Saya after, Orihime after, Corona after, Miharu after, Yoshioka after, and Hinabi after. Jesus Christ. Oh, he just kind of came out of nowhere, didn't she? Jesus fuck. This game gonna be tagged with fucking jump scares. Also, like, from what I've talked about with one of the viewers who's already played it, he seems very angry about the fact that every route is only, like, roughly 2 hours. Like, very, very mad. And, like, he seems to be of the opinions they should have done it similar to what Majikoi did, where, like, the fan discs aren't, like, after stories for the characters, for the most part. It's just, like, only, like, new routes. Which, honest God, I think more games need to do. Like, hey, if you need to add after stories to your characters to make the stories feel more complete, then you haven't finished the story in the first game. Do that instead. Anyway, so yeah, take a rough guess which character I'm gonna go for first. Got that right, Miharu. I leaned next to the window in my dark room, looking up at the sky. The winter night stretched beyond the glass. Numerous stars twinkled in my eyes, calming my heart. I was sure. In this moment, there were people watching the same sky. Not just friends from the Six Stars Club. I was sure even those who never knew the joy of them were looking up. Let's bring back the bright sky. Elevated by those words, the Six Stars Club came together for a big project. Memories of its success were still fresh in my mind. Project Starlight. With Hikari as the lead, and returned from abroad, we worked together to further our plan. I wanted people to learn of the same joy of stargazing. We wanted them to look to a starlit sky away from artificial light. Ultimately, this reached the hearts of many. The project was completed through ample effort and support. There were problems along the way, but we overcame them, and now we were here. And here we were. No, it was just Six Stars Club. The project's success was due to the help of those outside it. Our planetary observational journey, huh? I took the incomplete journal Sensei had returned to me in the past from the bookshelf and stared at it. It had nostalgic memories and was very important to me. I need to put these away before I get tempted. I remember the time Hikari-sai and I went to greet the Planetarium director, Morita. So you remembered us after all this time?
そういうことです。だからこそ今回のプロジェクトにも協力させていただきました。
そうだったんですか。なんだか信じられないです。
Throughout Project Starlight, we received help in various ways from the club alumnus Morita. Since we were there to report to him after the fact, we asked about such and got a surprising
コン
response.
クールに提出されたこのノートを見て本当に驚きましたからね。ここまで本格的に天体観測に取り組む子供たちがいたとは。いつかその情熱に直に触れてみたいと思っていたんです。ですから今回のプロジェクトはいい機会でした。
Also, do be sure to tell me which route you want to see next. I know one person that's probably going to stab me if I don't go for Saya next week, but hey, I get to do 2 routes per day. So yeah. Anyways, I had torn it apart, leaving it incomplete and abandoned. But since I apparently submitted it to the contest and it reached the judges, Morita's eyes. I need to... Oh, fuck. Though it wasn't accepted, he made a copy and held on to it himself. I'm gonna be right back. Alright, I applied some nose spray and got 3 packs of tissues. So, if my nose starts getting annoying, I'll be prepared. Anyways, I already read
と
this
にか
one.
く君たちには心から感謝しています。天文への熱を絶やさずつないでくれただけでなく、多くの人に伝えてくれた。それがどれほど素晴らしいことだったか、改めて言いたかったんですよ。
いやいや、それほどでも。なんて言っちゃ失礼ですね。それだけすごいことをやったんだもんね、私たち。
Hikari and Saya nodded with a smile at his words. They were my important companions who carried out this plan with me, and also my close friends from the past. This makes me feel oddly uncomfortable because there's all something that happens to Hikari's route, isn't it? Or was this from Saya's route? I already forgot. Thing is, like, happens in like one of their routes at a point where they are already dating. So it's weird that we're seeing this.
私たちも森田さんにお礼を言わないと。協力していただけて本当に助かりました。そうそう、森田さんも気合入ってましたよ。
星を見る一大イベントとあれば、あれくらいは当然ですよ。
Actually, I think this one was in Saya's route. He was certainly invigorated on the day of the project. He almost felt affectionate. Of course, considering the passion he held as a Six Stars member from the long ago, it was understandable. He knew that as well. How that was how special that night
これ
was.
から先、君たちの存在がこのプラネタリウムにとっても力強い追い風になるでしょう。だからこそ、これを君たちに。私からの感謝の印です。
He held an envelope to us. It bore the Planetarium logo and looked fancy. This
この
is?
プラネタリウムの招待券です。むつら星の会の皆さんにそれぞれ用意しました。ペアチケットになっていますので、天文に興味を持っている人などを誘ってぜひ来てください。歓迎しますよ。期限は定めていませんので、好きな時に使ってもらって構いません。
ありがとうございます。
That was how I came upon these special planetarium tickets in my hands. I held onto them together with the patchy journal. They were distributed to everyone in the Six Stars Club, so everyone I could think to go with had them. It would be best to invite someone interested in stargazing, like Morita said, but no one came to mind right away. I'll just take my time. There was no expiration date, so there was no need to hurry. But I wanted to go see it again before long. I needed to make sure I didn't forget. I went to put the journal onto the bookshelf, but stopped all of a sudden. The nostalgic letter written in it brought back old memories. Even after several years, they hadn't faded. It was a pitiful state after falling out. It was in a pitiful state after falling out with Hikari. But Saya gave it to Sensei, and she distributed it to the contest. It was incomplete, but found its way to Morita, where it remained in his memory. In no uncertain terms, our plan would not have made it without Morita's help. This journal was, without a doubt, vital to Project Starlight's success. Saya did her best to prepare it, didn't she? I think I'd heard from Sensei, but looking at its scars, I didn't think that was all. The torn parts were aligned as best as possible, and the writing and images were carefully joined together to be readable. Could I have done such detailed work after the horrible shock of Hikari and I's fight? Could it be that Sensei had a hand in it too? That's right, I've got to thank Sensei too. She should have been watching the store around now. I don't know how she'd react, but I have had to express my gratitude. Miharu. I went down to the store. It didn't look like any customers were here. I wondered what Sensei would be doing at a time like this. This needed to be addressed before her reaction. She went out of her way to bring a chair over and was face down on the counter, breathing deeply. This was the state she was in as I thought to thank her. Couldn't help but sigh. This wouldn't be good if the manager finds you. You should know that. She knew she'd be angry. Sorry about that. But she had no intention of changing her way of living or working. Guess you'd call her mentally sturdy. If it were me, I'd have thrown in the towel right away. But her effort was pointed in the wrong direction. I wish she returned to her reassuring self at least a little. Assuming she could, it would most definitely be a long road. That's it, wake up. And leave her like this anyway, so I shook her shoulders. But there was no sign of her waking. Maybe she didn't think of this as a nap. I almost felt guilty with how good she seemed to be sleeping, but it'd be a problem if customers came. Plus, it was kind of miserable watching her keep getting scolded by the manager. I'll wake her up. Sensei, come on! It'll get messy if the manager finds you. I shook her harder than before. Oh, there's quite a pretty CG right out the gate. Are you up? She faintly called my name. Nah, just sleep talking. She didn't raise her head in the slightest and didn't look ready to return from her dreams. A grief. Sensei, get up already! Huh? I heard her. I'm sorry. Some words of apology, but she showed no signs of waking up. Sleep talking? It must have been sleep talking. Her words sighed out along with her breathing. But I caught them clearly. She was apologizing to me. I'm sorry I'm so stupid. I understand what that meant, though. There was no way she'd say something like that if she were awake. Is it just me, or does this development feel incredibly forced? There was no way I could ask her what that meant. My urge to unreservedly wake her was dampened. What bothered me more than anything was her sleeping face looked somewhat sad. The expression that she would normally never show was seared into my heart. Oh, opening time! UCG. UCG. I shouldn't look at this. This is spoilery. But I want to make sure there's not some nudie. I saw a blue-haired girl that I do not recognize though. Fuck is that? Like, I think also what I've talked about earlier with the whole route length. The one I'm maddest about is why give an after story to Hikari and Saya? I'm not saying this because I don't like the characters. If anything, I've liked those characters the most in this entire series right now. But their stories felt complete. Like, I understand somewhat for Saya. Like, hey, give us what they basically also gave Hikari. Just them finally getting married, having children, something like that. But for Hikari, it just felt complete. They finished Project Starlight, and they finally built the family, have had kids. Just feels weird to go back in time from that. It's like, am I the only one that thinks that way? Anyways. Hold on. New Year's Day. I opened my eyes before afternoon while having turned in late from working the late night New Year's Eve shift. The manager said I could take it easy, but I was meeting visitors soon for the new year.
Yahoo! 挨拶に来たよ。
Ah, them.
明けましておめでとう、アック。
Same to you. Same to you too. You came to say that?
そうそう。こっちまで来るいい機会かなって。冬休みに一度も会わないってのも寂しいでしょ？
Nah, not really.
寂しいでしょ？
Yeah, I'm glad to see you guys again. That was a very Hikari-like tension right at the start of the year. Yeah, brushing her off would be mean.
店長さんもいる？挨拶していきたいな。
あらまあ、さやちゃんにひかりちゃん、二人とも来てくれたのね。はい、
明けましておめでとうございます。今年もよろしくお願いします。
The magic came out after seeing them. They exchanged New Year's greetings.
よかったら上がっていってよ。空見くん、お部屋でいい？
Yeah, no problem.
新年初の秋戸部屋だね。お手柔らかによろしく。
What are you planning to even do? Saya and Hikari came up to my room and immediately took a load off in kotatsu.
やっぱりここが落ち着くわ。
I still really like that outfit on her. Looks really nice.
もう光、自分の家みたいにくつろいじゃって。
Want some oranges?
欲しい欲しい。さやの分もね。
I wanted to have some, so we all ate oranges together.
甘くて美味しい。
You guys' personalities totally come out in how you peel them.
そうだね。光なんか、凝ってるよね。チャレンジ精神ってやつ？どれだけ長くできるか挑戦してんの。
Size is peeled all pretty like a flower.
女子力を感じる。女子力ってそういうもの？
あきと、ちょっといい？
And then a figure suddenly entered my room. Miharu was awake for a change. I was getting used to hearing her footsteps, but I wish she'd cut it out. What is it all of a
あんた
sudden?
の部屋に私のゲーム機。あ、
She acknowledged Hikari and Saya's presence with a surprised
先
voice.
生、明けましておめでとうございます。
おめでとう。って、なんであんたらがいるのよ。
新年の挨拶。ついでに、いつもの部屋でくつろいでました。
そう。ゆっくりしてってね。
She glanced around my room with an awkward face. So, your game console?
こっちに置いてってない？
The one you borrowed from Take? I haven't seen it.
そう。どこ置いたっけな。
Under the counter. Did you lose it? That's not how you treat something you borrowed.
平気。タケなら許してくれるでしょ。
Only felt respect for that utter lack of shame.
いいわ。他のところも探してみる。それじゃね。
Oops. Take care of your
わか
things.
ってるわよ、もう。あんたまで母さんみたいに。
She left my room while mumbling complaints. Hikari watched her in silence.
どうしたの？いや、あれね。改めて見ると、本当に変わっちゃったなーって。
She looked dumbfounded. The shock from when she saw her neatification seemed to have still left its traces.
私が海外行って戻ってきたら治ってたりしないかなって思ってたけど、世の中甘くないか。
It's warm, but it's also my neck is extremely cold because of the goddamn fan, so I don't want it to be exposed. Lower the angle, bitch! There we go. I don't know why I called it a bitch. I'm sorry, fan. You're keeping my body nice and cool. I shouldn't treat you that disrespectfully. I know why I'm talking to a fan. Whoops. Oh, fuck, that tickled my nose, strangely enough. That was weird. Oh, that feels disgusting.
仕方ないよ。先生もいろいろあるんだから。アキトがここに住んでもう結構経つでしょ？更生させられたりしないの？
To Saya and I, who'd been here a long time, the current Sensei was already solidified for us, so we stopped thinking about it. On the other hand, to Hikari, who'd been away for a time, it was only natural that she'd feel worried. There certainly were things to worry about. I think it'd be nice if she could. The manager probably does too. But when it comes to how she ended up like this, it's not so simple. I heard something close to the truth from Sensei before. That she was exhausted from working as a teacher, and that she was even going bald from stress. She said it partly jokingly, but watching from the side, I didn't think it was entirely a joke. Even Saya probably knew it. There's no way she wasn't in this situation without any sort of inner conflict.
Sorami-kun! ちょっといい?
Just then I heard this manager call me from the stairs. Yeah, what do you need?
下にタケ君たちが来てるんだけど、上がってもらう？ちょっとそこじゃ狭いわよね。
Seems there were lots of visitors today.
コロナ、明けましておめでとう。あれ、ピカリンも来てたんだ。簡単からチョップさせんな。じゃあしなければいいのに。あれ、天の川先輩もいる。なんで？新年の挨拶にね。コロナちゃんも明けましておめでとう。おめでとうございます。
Corona and Takichi were waiting downstairs in the store. We came down and greeted them.
Yo, Akeome.
Happy New Year! You're together today?
別に来なくてよかったのに。付き添いなんて年じゃないよ。
ちげえよ。俺はなるえちゃんとここで待ち合わせしてんだよ。
あら、待ち合わせ？ならここの席使っていいから。他に何かいる？
The manager prepared seats for us in the eating space. It was warm and perfect for chatting with everyone.
ありがとうございます。ならコーヒーとか買おうかな。
そんないいわよ。それくらいごちそうしちゃう。
いえいえ、お客ですから。ちゃんと売り上げに貢献しなきゃ。
あらまあ、すまないね。みんな、後でお土産でもあげるから、帰るときは上に寄っていってちょうだい。はい、
ありがとうございます。
With that, we enjoyed ourselves in a chat among familiar faces.
しかし奇遇だね。子供の頃を思い出すメンバーだよ。そうだね。なんだか懐かしいな。
Hikari and Saya, thinking the same, came right out and said it. Everyone here shared memories of our old school before it was lost with the development of the dam. We normally all went to different schools, so we didn't have many chances to get together like this. There were the Six Stars gatherings, but there were a lot of other people too, so that old nostalgic atmosphere was diluted. So it had been a while since all these faces were together.
そういえばみはるちゃんは
？She was up. She's probably in her room.
何か用事でもあんの？ないけど、どうせならみはるちゃんもいた方がいいかなって。それならメンバー完璧でしょ？あまりちょっかい出さない方がいいよな。よし、呼んでくる！おばちゃん、ちょっと上にお邪魔します。
Koronda dashed off full of energy. Sensei's repose was over. All she was doing was sleeping or laying around playing games, though. In which case, I felt like it'd be good for her to enjoy a talk with her old students. With that in mind, I didn't stop her. By the way, Taki, have you still not gotten your game back from Sensei?
ああ、まあ仕方ねえだろう。もう半分諦めてるわ。
甘やかすのも良くないと思うけどな。もっとこうビシッと熱血指導とかさ。
Whoppa! I've come to understand after living with her that there's no point in that.
君がそう言うならよほどなんだろうね。
Sensei wallowed in her idle lifestyle. Since I was staying here, I was the one closest to her. Consequently, I saw her often. For example, when I heard her sleep talk those concerning words a while back. What was she dreaming? Just what was she dreaming? What was she trying to tell me? In the end, I didn't have the chance to ask. Since then, Sensei was the same as usual, though. Not loafing around for days being scolded and sleeping with the shop helping with the shop against her will. So I should have just forgotten it as some whimsical mood. But sure that some should be done. Maybe her sleep talking was why those feelings became stronger.
アキトは何か考えてるの？
No, not particularly. Honestly, she's already being scolded and rehabilitated by the manager.
先生が仕事辞めてからもうだいぶ経つもんね。
We graduated from our old school and it was subsequently destroyed due to the dam's construction. Ever since, Sensei quit working and lived here.
はいはい、みはるちゃん登場。わかったから引っ張らないで。もう、なんなのよあんたたちは。
Sensei came along with Corona. He's already looked in a bad mood at the new year. Maybe we should have stopped her. Did you find Taki's game console?
うん。ベッドの隙間に落ちてたわ。
What horrible treatment.
先生、そろそろそれ。
いやー、今の時代はいいわね。体験版とか無料ゲームとかで結構長く遊べるわ。
もう完全に仮パクの流れっすか。
そんなつもりないわよ。遊び終わったらちゃんと返すから。で、挨拶でもすればいいの？はい、明けましておめでとう。
お年玉は？
ふざけたこと言わないの。あるわけないでしょ、そんなもの。
マジギレ？ごめんなさい。
Corona, you can't tease her too much. She might switch gears if we keep pushing her
あん
buttons.
たもさりげなくひどいこと言わないように。
Anyways, standing around talking his ways over here. I pointed out nothing seen and invited her. It would be bad to make these kinds of opportunities to see everyone once. It wouldn't be bad to make these kinds of opportunities to see everyone once in a while.
いや、別に話すことはないし。
She was reluctant as expected. I'll treat you to drinks. Do you want
あら、
something?
そう？じゃあ、とりあえずビール。
I'm not sure how I feel about you drinking in front of your former students in the afternoon.
うっさいな。じゃあ、なんか甘い炭酸で。
Got it.
あっくん、先生の扱いがちょっと上手くなってる。
さや、なんか言った？
いけないです。
I left my seat for a bit and bought some carbonated
わ
juice.
ざわざごめんね。みはるの小遣いから天引きしとくわ。
No, I'll pay for it. I'm doing it because I want to. I went back and gave it to her. She accepted it in good spirits.
サンキュー。やっぱり持つべきものはいい教え子ね。はあ、おいしい。労働の後は甘いものに限る。
みはるちゃん、仕事してたの？
してたわよ。面倒だったけど仕方なく。30分くらい街の外で魔物と戦ってたわ。
労働？先生は初詣とか行かないんですか？
行くわけないでしょ。どうして休日なのに出かけなきゃいけないのよ。
休日だから出かけようとか、そういう発想は出てこないんだ。
今の先生にそれ言ったら毎日外出になるんじゃね？
まったくあんたたちは年上を敬う心が足りないわ。
No respect for those who don't do some deserving of
そんな
respect.
こと言うなら先にそれ返してくださいよ。
まだ終わってないからやだ。
As far as respectability as an elder, Sensei had, how do I put it, silch. Everyone here knew that.
というわけで 私は労働の続きをするから。
せっかく懐かしいみんなでいろいろ話そうって思ったのに。
そんなの私がいなくてもできるでしょう。いい加減先生離れしなさい。
Leaving it at that, she started her game. She even went out of her way to declare her intent to shut us out by putting in earphones.
やっぱりそっとしておいてあげよう。今年こそはみはるちゃんの社会復帰をって思ったんだけどな。先生辞めてからずっとニートなんだっけ。こりゃ確かに手強そうだね。
俺はゲーム機さえ返してもらえればいいんだけどな。
My former classmates plus Corona all voiced their opinions. Among them, I watched Sensei enjoy her game from the side while drinking my juice. Fuck. Okay, but why did it fade out? Why did it fade in, but just cut to black when fading out? It was a clear spring day. Oh, fuck you. Stupid fan. It was a special day for everyone. The graduation, the day we would leave our memory-filled school. It wasn't a regular goodbye. With this last year, the school would no longer exist. It must have been hard on Sensei too. All her students expressed their gratitude. They looked at the smiling teacher they relied on up until now, with reluctant faces. Then they gave her a large bouquet.
ありがとう。先生もとても嬉しいです。ここで働けて、そしてみんなの先生になれてよかった。本当、
私も先生
にいろいろ教えてもらいました。
Saya, who'd been holding back, came up to her and spoke with a tearful voice. She was trying to express her appreciation, but her words were caught in her throat. We somehow understood, though. I was glad those painful words didn't come out.
わかってますよ。天の川さんにいろいろ教えてあげたこと。天の川さんも忘れないでいてくださいね。
She sure seems to have forgotten them. I mean Miharu, not Saya. A moving goodbye between teacher and student was impossible without tears. But that was for normal people without special circumstances. I watched everyone from a ways away. It wasn't that I was putting on airs or anything. I just didn't feel like mixing in. The teacher drew out interest in astronomy, supported us fervently in that endeavor. She guided us who knew nothing and taught us so much, even after the observation party on the roof. But I wasted it. Caught up in the moment of my fight with Ikari, I tore our journal, our hard work, to pieces and ran from astronomy. How could I stand in front of Sensei like that? I thoughtlessly threw away all of what she gave me, her feelings. I knew I was just being stubborn. Would have been fine if I just apologized. But I couldn't think of everyone as companions with the same emotions. In the end, all I did was watch. It's fucking hot, man. And it's too hot without the fan. It's too cold without the fan. With the fan. Everyone said their goodbyes, and it was time to leave school. They would probably spend their time going home or hanging out with friends. But I didn't feel like going home and wandered around campus. It wasn't that I felt comfortable either, but I didn't especially mind it. I just felt like enjoying the scenery for the last time. Then,
Sorami-kun?
I found Sense in the classroom I stopped by at. She simply stood aside without any side as to what she was doing. The bouquet was placed on her desk and bright colors drew my eyes. First I thought she was sentimental, thinking back on partying with her students, so I couldn't intrude on her time, having hurt her in the worst possible way. Sorry.
待って、Sorami-kun.
I ignored her and tried to leave, but didn't. Huh? Because her expression wasn't what I had imagined. I stopped in confusion.
何か用事？
Not really. It was somehow vacant. It wasn't an expression of sadness at parting with her students or school. I thought, surely, she would have been smiling regretfully, yet full of pride for everyone leaving the nest. But right now it felt like the exact opposite. She looked relieved, like hard times had finally come to an end. Sensei?
言わなくていいわ。もう終わったことだから。そう。もう終わった。
Let out an agonized voice, unable to apologize, yet having to convey something. But Sensei didn't hear it and simply smiled sadly. An empty shell of a smile, saying it made my chest tighten. What happened? She was smiling so cheerfully in front of everyone, so why now, as soon as she was alone? I looked at her, my heart overrun by bewilderment.
ねえ、ソラミくん？
Yes?
私は、みんなにとっていい先生でいられたかしら。
For an instant I felt like I was being attacked, because at the very least, I was not a good student. But her expression betrayed that she was not speaking so simply.
ダメね。こんなことを言っても意味はないのに。でも、やっぱり思っちゃうの。私じゃ足りなかったんじゃないかって。こんなことを思ってしまうこと自体、教師に向いてないって証拠なのかしら。
A dry smile appeared on her tired face. It wasn't to me. Her eyes seemed to be looking far into the distance.
いろいろトラブルを抱えて、対処に疲れて、うまくいかないことも多くて。でも今は、そういうのが終わって、ほっとしてる。そんな感じ。
There we go, that should help. There we go, that should help.
こんなこと考えちゃいけないって分かってるけど。ね。
This was a different Sensei from the one saying goodbye to everyone before. I gave no reply and just stood there.
ごめんね、ソラミくん。
Huh? Sensei lowered her gaze at me. I was the one who needed to apologize, and yet the Sensei I'd never seen before gave me pause in saying those obvious
こんな
words.
話を聞かせてごめんなさい。ちょっと気が緩んじゃっていました。
That's... I don't...
でも、仕方ないの。私は、いい先生じゃいられなかったから。だから、ごめんなさいね。
She spoke slowly, yet with a strength that made me hesitate over cutting in with anything superfluous. I obviously lacked the strength to tread into her heart. I should go home soon.
はい。気をつけて帰りましょうね。
In the end, that was how we parted. Graduation ended, the chance to see each other became less. I suddenly had a thought. If I had denied her words at the time, even if I had to force myself, maybe a different future would have been waiting for her. It probably wasn't that simple. She said that she was under intense pressure as a teacher, that she couldn't conduct herself well, that she took stress head on and couldn't no longer continue. So it wasn't the cause of her becoming like this. It was simple to make that excuse. Then why? Why was I remembering this past now of all times? What was I looking for? Fine day. Time passed and season changed. The cold, stabbing winds softened as we approached a time of change. March, when the coming of spring was felt every day in the breeze. The Six Stars Club too was changing. As people left, so did new people arrive. We had a bit of an event planned tonight in anticipation for the coming year. Well, I'm off. Called out to Sensei, was watching the store, then headed... Sensei jumped from the counter and grabbed my shoulders, then pulled me into the store with all her might. So, stop that! Sensei, you're stretching my clothes!
出かけるの？そろそろ店番交代だと思ってたんだけど。
Yes, I'm going out. You heard from the manager, right?
聞いた気がするけど、聞いてない。私をほっといてどこ行くつもり？
Give me a break. Got an observation meet for the Six Stars Club.
真面目な用事か。
What was she planning to do if it wasn't? So I'm going out. Don't slack off on the job.
リア充め。痛い気な私に重労働を押し付けた罪悪感にもだえるがいいわ。
I wasn't sure why she thought she was so innocent, but it didn't seem like she'd run or cut work, so I left with relief. I came to the observation spot near the dam reservoir, and there were already members here and there. Yoshioka saw me, then walked over.
スラミ君。皆さん早いですね。
Because I brought the telescope. I'm gonna set it up before everyone gets
あ
here.
りがとうございます。すみません。いろいろと頼ってしまって。
It's alright since you're our leader and manager. By all means, rely on us. Today's observation meet came to be from our current president, Yoshioka's summons. There were no standout astronomical events happening, but there was a reason we gathered today. It was for the 3 current members who would graduate this month and move on to college. Kano from Amanonaka, Jino from Amanonaka Nishi, and Tajiri from Moromisawa. This meet was planned in order to send them off.
いや、空見さん、調子はどうです？
Like, I'm not gonna recognize any of the names because the official translation referred to everyone with their first name instead of their family name. Pretty alright. I'm sure this'll be a fun meet. Tajiri called out to me as I set up the telescope. Kamana Kajima was behind him, tears flowing out of pure emotion.
川中島、
Whoops.
そんなに大げさにならなくても、まだ会は始まってすらいないよ。いやもう、感謝の涙が止まらないっすよ。先輩。俺、先輩の下で天文やっていけて、よかったっす。
Still really love that coat. That coat is awesome.
僕も同じ気持ちだ。でも今日は観望会だろ。そんなに泣いていたら星の光も滲んでしまう。すみません。そうっすね。先輩から受け継いだ家来の光を曇らせるわけにはいかないっす。
He wiped his tears and gave a bright smile. Those two were so poetic they were almost pleasant just to look at.
秋人、やってるな。
You came too. Good evenings, Jino.
久しぶり。今日のこと話したら、一緒に来るって言い出してさ。
Jino brought Takichi along to say hi. Seeing that we're going out after all, Takichi probably wanted to celebrate her graduation from the Six Stars Club
で
too.
もあんたも結構ずうずうしいね。こんな日にムツラ星のメンバーに混ざってくるなんてさ。
いやいや、プロジェクトの時も結構手伝ってたんだぞ。な、秋人。
Yeah, we'll welcome Taki with open
って
arms.
ことだよ、なるえちゃん。別にのけ者じゃねえからな。
そういうことなら、まあいいか。
Plus, you guys finally have the chance. Enjoy each other once you've finished greeting everyone. That's why you came, isn't it?
だな。今日の俺たちは恋人ムードで行くぜ。
バカ！当たり前のようにそんなこと言うなって。
Hold on, let me look up the voice actress. I feel like I've recognized her voice. This guy. Full of stars being database. Like, I don't know if I recognized it in... Like, in the base game. But I feel like I'm recognizing it right now. I think I know why I recognize her. Yep, yeah, yeah, pretty sure. Where's that familiar, That's a lot of games. Jesus Christ, that is a lot of games. If I haven't accidentally skipped over it while just haphazardly just scrolling through. Oh, there we go. Yep. The reason why I immediately recognized her this time is because, hey, I've literally heard her voice today. That bitch is I! That bitch is Tsujido! Oddly fitting! Oddly fitting! Oddly fitting! Yep, they seem to be getting along.
みんなもう集まってる。のりちゃん先輩、もしかして私たち遅刻かも。ごめんなさい。もしかして時間間違えましたか？大丈夫ですよ。まだ集合時間前です。皆さん準備があったりして、早く来ているだけなので。よかった。こんな日に遅刻したら、みんなに迷惑かけちゃいますから。
More members arrived, one after the other. It had already been over a year since that meeting that gave us the chance to gather like this. That club that was unable to hold proper activities and was on the verge of dissolution now held this many members and only showed signs of expanding even bigger.
光、加納さん、こんばんは。
Why, hello there! That would be the unfamiliar face I've seen in the goddamn intro. Nice jacket there!
おーすさやー。あは、玉木ちゃんも来てたんだ。
Who the fuck is Tamaki?
新参者ですが、せっかくの機会ですので、先輩方の歩みを引き継ぐ者として、末席にでも加えていただければ幸いです。
聖戦女子の新入部員さんでしたっけ？ようこそ、むつら星の会へ。
Wait, so that means she's a first year, yet she's taller than Saya. My condolences, Saya. New members were tangible results, and we'd probably have more coming. As the years passed, generations would continue changing from here on.
本日は、お集まりいただきありがとうございます。まずは、むつら星の会、現会長として、私から挨拶させていただきます。
Sorry about that. The members finally gathered and the meet began. Yoshioka began with an address as the representative for all schools in
おとと
attendance.
しから去年にかけて、このむつら星の会は、劇的な変化を迎えました。むつら星の会の再始動、フレアデス1号を中心としたイベントの開催、そして、プロジェクトスターライト。その始まりとなったのは、前会長の呼びかけですが、それに応えてくださった各校の代表方がいてこそ、今の会があるのだと思います。
Kano and the others came up front, urged by Yoshioka's words. It had the air of a graduation ceremony, and their posture spontaneously straightened. By the way, Kamakashima was sobbing again.
エレクトラ、アルキオネ、ケラエノ。あの日、姉妹の名乗りを上げていただいた方々が、これから新たな場所へと巣立っていきます。これまでの日々に感謝し、そして、これからの日々に精一杯の声援を送ります。今まで、ありがとうございました。
Everyone bowed in time with her voice, then applause erupted.
悪くないね、こういうのも。卒業式よりも感動するかも。
なんだか照れくさいけど、心が温かくなりますね。
皆さんの気持ちが伝わってきました。これからは OB として皆さんの助けになれればと思います。
They returned the warm applause with a bow. We never could have imagined holding such a lively meeting on the day we announced our revival.
じゃあみんなで星を見よう。そして先輩たちを気持ちよく送り出そう。
The still chilly breeze swept through as Hikari's energetic voice resounded. With a bang, she says, "You're just watching stars, so no, that's not much of a bang there, unless, you know, randomly one of the stars explode." Like, I don't know how many years ago. I forgot. And everyone was watching the stars here and there. Looking up with binoculars, peeking through telescopes, taking pictures, chatting. They all enjoyed themselves in their own way.
あれがプレアデス星団ですか。むつら星の称号にもなっている。
そうだよ。まだ見える時期でよかったね。むつら星って呼ばれるけど、しっかり見ればもっとたくさんの星が見えるの。双眼鏡使ってみる？
はい。 ありがとうございます。
Sai and Hikari were introducing stars to the newbie Kogane. She had found an interest in astronomy through Project Starlight and was listening to Saya speak quite earnestly. To everyone else, she was also proof that her efforts bore fruit. The other members' gazes towards her were warm.
そういえば、コロナはいつ会長になるの？
Korona and Yamada seemed to be talking about the next president.
決定事項？吉岡先輩ももうすぐ3年生だし、そしたらコロナが次の会長になるんでしょ？今の名工1年はコロナだけだけど、他の人だって候補だよ。残念。コロナ会長とか呼んでみたかったのに。ひなみにそう言われるとなんかムズムズする。
Though she was being humble, everyone recognized Korona's ability. It felt like she would do well as president when I saw her work as Yoshioka's advisor.
な、ちょっといい？
Takichi called out to Chinoa to the
ちゃ
side.
ん、ちょっと静かなとこ行こうぜ。
そっちはもう挨拶とかいいの？
大体済んだ。だからあとは、なるえちゃんのためにな。
わかった。ありがとね。
They unfurled their own world as if others didn't notice them. I thought she would be prickly to Takichi, but she meekly obeyed. It was great that they got along. I didn't want to be a wet blanket, so I left him alone. He's a better best friend than, like, almost every best friend in every fucking anime. And visual novel. After I checked in on everyone, Hikari called out to me. Yeah, I guess I'll have some. I took a stick-like snack from the bag she stuck out. Moderate salt flavor sure was tasty.
こんなに賑やかになるのって久しぶり。
True, looking at everything like this, we've gotten quite a lot more people.
でも、昔はもっと多かったんだっけ？一つの部でこれくらいとか、そういう時期もあったって。
I feel like Shiratori said that before. Like how Nishihai had tens of people at one time. I wonder if we'll get to that level one day. Considering the results of the plan to reconstruct the Six Stars Club that started with us, maybe it wasn't such a wild dream.
そういえば、先生はどうしてる？
You suddenly brought her up. What's that about all of a
の
sudden?
りちゃん先輩とか OG になるじゃん？そういや、先生も OG だったなって思い出した。普段あんなだけど、いろいろ助けてもらったからさ。
Stupid insect. That's true, nothing's changed there. Though she was normally neat, she did occasionally... Did I just accidentally knock her into the beer? No, I didn't. Where the fuck did it fly off then? After I hit it. Though she was normally neat, she occasionally supported us when we needed. She even introduced me to Old Man Champ.
不思議な感じするよね。
Strange. She looked up at the sky. Her eyes climbed endlessly, reflecting the light of multitudes of stars. They were distant, filled not just with the ones she could see now, but with the skies of her memories past as well.
覚えてるでしょ？三日月天文クラブ。あの頃はいろいろ先生に助けてもらったなって。だから先生には今でも感謝してる。
She supplemented our shoddy knowledge, and we held the observation party on top of that roof. Those memories we were born, guided by Hikari's words. Now to see the light of our video with everyone, we turned to Sensei and made it a reality. There were ups and downs, but we were able to achieve our primary goal. That was how our astronomical observations began. Here we were today with piles of memories.
むつら星の会の歴史が途絶えちゃって。でも、私たちがそれを復活させた。その大元にあるのは、昔同じ天文部のメンバーだった先生なわけでしょ？運命感じない？
You're right, it's thanks to her, huh? Since I hadn't been our homeroom teacher, our fate would have surely changed. Maybe we wouldn't have been here watching the stars like this. If this completeness was the result of support from lots of people. Sensei was one of them. I'd like to do something for her, I muttered to myself. It was because we were enjoying this time right now that it naturally came to mind.
やっぱりアキトたちも、先生のこと諦めてるわけじゃないんだよね。
Well, it won't change that we owe her a lot. Her voice in response to my mumbling bore sincerity. She may have still been bothered by the shock from seeing her, so changed after meeting her again. If only I hadn't fought with you back then.
それは仕方ないよ。私もアキトも子供だった。
We can't let that extend to Sensei. We can't say there's nothing we can do. My fight with Ikari, by tearing apart and throwing away the journal, then abandoning the stars, it was the truth that those things gave her no small shock as our teacher. I wonder if it's fine for me. So I ended up thinking like this. I disregarded her teachings, always ran from that path. So I couldn't help feeling it was too late.
むしろアキトだからこそじゃない？
But Ikari smiled.
私としても今の先生は放っておけない。でもどうすればいいかわからないのも事実だから。でもきっと今も先生のそばにいるアキトならできるよ。誰より本気で心配してるってわかるもん。さっきの表情を見てればね。
I wonder if I could change something that
初
huge.
恋の人を助けるんでしょ？アキトの力信じてる。
Listen.
ごめん。でも信じてるのは本当だよ。
She smiled impishly and nudged me with her elbow. I'll try thinking of something.
先生が立ち直れるなら私だって何でもやるから。
A multitude of lights floated in the sky. Among them were the stars Sensei taught me. If the Sensei who guided me had lost her way, was suffering alone, I wanted to help her. Couldn't find something specific yet, but I'd hold that wish in my heart as long as I needed it. The meet finally ended and we dispersed. When I returned to Sao Tome, the lights were still on, despite it being past closing time. Were they working on something inside? Went inside for now. I'm home. The manager seemed to be checking stock.
おかえりなさい。何かいる？
No, I just thought I'd say hi. Do you need help with anything?
大丈夫よ。みんなで集まってたんだっけ？楽しかった？
It was, thank you. We had a good time with how busy it was.
母さん、さっき言ってたのってこれでいい？
Sensei came in carrying a cardboard box, shocking me for a moment. Sensei's working?
私だってやりたくてやってるんじゃないわよ。
ほら、文句言わない。
She leered as her head was smacked.
少しは他の仕事も覚えなさいっていつも言ってるでしょ。真面目にやりなさいよ。
店番してるならそれでいいじゃない。
I thought she was showing off some work ethic, but she was the same as
じゃ
ever.
あ、残りも任せたわよ。終わったら報告すること。いいね。
はーい。
The manager went to the back and only Sensei and I remained. She glanced my way. How subtle. Should I help you?
別にアキトが手伝ったりしたらまた母さんにぐちぐち言われるし。
Looked like she'd be fine on her own. I decided to go
で
rest.
もアキトがどうしてもって言うなら手伝ってくれてもってちょっと待て。
What? You didn't need help, did you?
アキトがどうしても手伝いたいって言うなら認めてあげるから。ほらほら。
Ah, fine, I got it. I want to help, so let me.
そこまで言うなら仕方ない。後で母さんにも言っといてよ。
I ended up helping her after her oddly desperate clinging. Put my stuff on the counter and started work.
官房会はどうだったの？
It was fun. Six Stars Club got pretty the club's gotten pretty lively.
そう、よかったわね。私が店番してたおかげよ。感謝しなさい。
She stared at me a bit dourly. Was she that unhappy with the usual clerk job? Job, not chop. And you should come next time. I'm sure the manager would let you. I proposed a sudden idea.
私が？特別なイベントでもないのに？
You're kinda our advisor and title. It wouldn't be unnatural for you to show up.
そうは言ってもね。
Sai and I would be there too. Even if we weren't, our stargazing friends would welcome you.
あんた、たまに真顔で変なこと言うわよね。
I only tried inviting her seriously, but it was too much.
でも、話合わないだろうし。私の頃とは雰囲気違うでしょ。今のムツラボシの会は、あんたら若い連中のものなんだから。私はお呼びでないってね。
I just noticed something that's very much pissing me off. The eye is slightly elevated. Actually, it is here too. It isn't here though. It is here again though. Or is it actually elevated here? It is elevated here. Is it the S's that are also elevated then? No, the S's aren't elevated. Is every non-capital I just slightly elevated? I thought she'd say something. She'd say it'd be annoying, or she didn't want to go outside, so her reply was surprising. She didn't deny liking the stars or being the advisor either. I was a little happy about that. What was it like when you were a member? I was sort of curious, so I
あん
asked.
たたちみたいなでっかい計画とかとは無縁だったね。割とゆるく活動してた。
But you had actual members, right?
そうね。観測会とか定期的に開いてた。でも、天文の輪を広めようとか、そこまでは頑張ってないわよ。怖い OB が来るときは、そんな調子じゃいられなかったけどね。
Morita, I bet. That passion of his probably hadn't changed from back then.
一応真面目に調べ物して、たまに返しとか作って。まあ、なんだかんだで楽しかったかな。
She spoke of her memories with a tranquil expression. It looked as if her usual apathetic behavior was subsiding a little. Do you ever talk with those people since graduating?
別に。カンパ集めた時に久しぶりに連絡したくらいよ。
Let's see.
だってね。なんかめんどくさいでしょ
Based on a current Six Stars Club's mood, I felt like we would stay in touch long after graduation, but since it wasn't like that, her expression seemed to darken somewhat. What did she think about the way she was right now? By the way, what about Morita? About the job searching?
はああ、そんなのあったっけ
He did say that he would help with finding her a job if needed when he met her. Why don't you just hear him out?
そんなの受けるわけないでしょ
Her loud voice interrupted my words and echoed throughout the shop.
私は働かない。それはもう決定事項。だって働く気もなければ必要もないし。
Suppose you don't want to eat then? Sensei?
誰もが働かないと生きていけなかった昔とは違うの。今はむしろ労働力が余ってるんだから。私が働き始めたら、それこそ社会の喪失よ。
Wait.
反論なんて認めない。そう、私はいわば高等遊民。一生部屋でぐうたらしてる宿命なの。
おー、でっかく出たもんだね。
母さん、いつからそこに
Manager suddenly stood behind her like a shadow. I tried to warn her.
真面目にあんたのためを思ってるのに、何も伝わってなかったのかしら。もっと厳しくした方がいい？
いや、それは、お手柔らかに。
ああ、そう。こうやってぐちぐち言われたくなかったら、偉そうな口より先に手を動かす。
アキト、助けて
That's nothing I can
ち
say.
ょっと根性叩き直してくるから。空見くん、手伝いはいいから、もう休みなさい。
Sensei vanished into the back, dragged by the manager. I guess it'd be better for me to relax. I took my stuff from the counter and returned to my room. Inside the case was my old memory-filled telescope we used for today's meet. It was precious to me. Memories of my father who bought it for me, Hikari who taught me how to use it, Sensei who showed me beautiful stars with it, Sai and the others who I watched them with. Since it taught us the joy of stargazing back then, couldn't be that her enthusiasm just disappeared. She helped us repeatedly throughout our reconstruction of the Six Stars Club after all. So one day for sure. Hope we can watch the stars together again. Didn't invite her out earlier I didn't invite her earlier out of societal obligation. I truly thought that and hoped she would. I truly thought and hoped that she would respond. It seems like that day hasn't come yet, but I'll wait. It's a quiet night. Scattered stars shone overhead. I was on my way to Sao Tome. I was asked to run an urgent errand, so I headed there as closing times approached. Then I met her. Miharu? I spotted a lingering figure beneath the streetlight, leaning against a utility pole. When I got closer, I realized it was someone familiar. I let out a voice in shock. I didn't think I'd ever meet someone somewhere like this.
空見くんどうしたの
I was just asked to run an errand.
そう偉いわね
That was all she spoke, then bent slightly forward. Had she been like this the whole time until I called out to her? It would have felt awkward to just pass by her like that, so I stopped where I stood.
何かあった
Huh? No, no, honestly, God, like, is something wrong? Oh yeah, I ran into my old teacher. She was just like standing outside in the middle of the night, not moving, just leaning against the utility pole. It was kind of weird. Wonder what was wrong with her. I was the one who wanted to ask that. Expected she must have guessed my intent.
ごめんねちょっと疲れてて休憩してたの
She replied amidst sighs. I see. Well, were you working until now? She should have lost her job after we graduated, but she was dressed nicely, like back then.
その準備ねちょっと遠いところだけどつてがあって新しいところでまた先生をやることになったのよ
Really? That's good. Part of me worried over what she would do, so those words relieved me. She was hinting at me not to fret. Our conversation continued despite the leftover awkwardness. So you'll go back to being a teacher. But her expressions remained dark, not because it was dark out, or because she was bent over. She looked even more depressed than the time I saw her on graduation
その
day.
はずだったんだけどダメだった
Huh? She looked up. Her smile was empty, as if she'd given up on something. The pain she carried given
今日
full.
は一応形だけ面接受けて問題なければ働けるって話だったんだけど途中で気分が悪くなっちゃって無理言って帰らせてもらったのそれでさっき連絡が来て療養が必要ならそちら優先でって
No words of comfort came to mind. I stood there half dumbfounded. Her health took a turn for the worse, and she failed in finding work. I had no idea why things turned out this way. Because it took me a long time to remember what she said on the day of graduation. Then, what's going to
ど
happen?
うなるんだろうねどうにもできないかな
Huh? There wasn't a shred of hope in her voice. It frightened me. Fear must have covered my expression. Noticing this, Sensei looked up and tried to smooth it over.
なんて嘘そんなに悲しそうな顔しないの
What?
他にも働かせてもらえそうなところちゃんとあるから今日はダメだったけどそっちなら大丈夫空見くん心配しないで
That's okay, do your best. Saw her flash across her face for an instant at my words, as if my encouragement sent a stabbing pain through her. This was the result of her failure in spite of her best.
ね頑張らなきゃ
Well, I'll,
暗いから帰りも気をつけるのよ
Our student-teacher relationship had ended, yet she gave me a teacher-like smile right to the end. I satisfied myself with that and returned to my business. She told me not to worry, so it would probably be fine. There was no need to think it over. She would get better soon. That's what I believed. Yeah, about that.
はい、お釣り。お使いご苦労様。
Thank you. I'll come again if anything else happens.
しかし、遅いな、ミハル。電話にも出ないで何やってんだか。
Huh?
ん？空見くん、どうかした？
Oh, no, it's nothing. A while after that, I heard rumors that Sensei gave up looking for employment. The build-up of anxiety had exhausted her mentally to the point where she could no longer continue working. I should have had chances to notice it, but I ultimately could do nothing. Couldn't do anything, would be a better phrasing. After all that, what could I do at this point? Like, I feel like that would be a better phrasing, at least. I could feel the arrival of a new season and a new school year today. Something to mark this had happened in our astronomy club and just ended without complications. Yamada looked up from bowing deeply with an accomplished expression. That was well done, Yamada. I'm sure you left a good impression. I think you were a great upperclassman. They were at ease. They were freshman girls who were in the club room until recently. They visited in order to check us out, so they decided on which club they wanted to join. Since they were all girls, and as preparation for her to be the next president, I had Yamada guide them for the most part. You could say the test was a success. Was I? I remember being shocked. I never thought about actively inviting or finding new members and all. You coming wasn't expected. Sorry, that's not what I... What was being unobservable dark matter supposed to mean? You're awfully hasty. What, you gotta get rid of him? She spiritually whispered while gazing at the desktop calendar. Maybe talking about her potential juniors got her fired up. Guess I'm not too sure. Before, I probably would have been able to immediately answer that I had planned to become independent without going to college. But I was in the process of reforming that idea. I could think about simply prolonging my current self. There was also the option of higher education, building a firmer foundation, than entering society. There may have been influence from others around me, fixed on exam studies, but I was serious now. What? An alpinist? Wait, hold on. Where did that idea come from? That's definitely true, but I used to climb mountains occasionally to watch the stars when I separated myself from astronomy. It was a little embarrassing for even Yamada to know about that. But I only did that when I wanted to watch the stars alone. I wasn't like it wasn't like I liked mountains or anything. I got astronomy club activities now, so there's no need to go climbing mountains. I wasn't the astronomer who never looks at the stars anymore. After I wanted to see the stars, I had plenty of friends who would go. If I wanted to see the stars, I had plenty of friends who would go with me. He sounds disappointed for some reason. Sounded. That's the first I've heard of something like that.
でもいいんです。きっかけがどうであれ、今は私こそがマイヤの後継者。
Something tells me her after story is gonna be fucking funny.
部長は安心して星の輝きを追い続けていてください。
Thanks, Yamada. The new semester would be a time to think about my future more concretely. That was why... Hold on. The new semester would be time to think about my future more concretely. That was why I couldn't be vague like before. I had to earnestly think about what I would how I would enter the world. Felt like it was the least I could do for my departed parents at the mansion at Sao Tome who treated me well for so long.
泣いても笑ってもあと1年。送別会の空気を考えると笑って終わらせていただきたいですね。
I know. I'm thinking about things properly. You could say I still had a year left at Hoshino Daiichi, but you could also say I only had 1 year left. My admirable junior expected things of me, so I had to focus myself. Exams, huh? I only ran my eyes over the letters on my phone screen. Assuming I went to college, there weren't a lot of options. Staying at Sao Tome might actually be difficult. I might need to look for a room near the school. Before that was exam studying. Continuing my part-time job would be rough. Had to have a talk with the manager about that. She's watched over me for this long, so it was important.
アキト何してるの
Why are you blushing? Are you drunk? Sensei opened the sliding door and entered my room all of a sudden. I responded by only turning to look at her from the kotatsu. Hold on. Not much, just thinking.
つまり暇なのね。じゃあちょっと付き合いなさい。
Doing what?
晩酌
She is drunk. Looking closely, her face was a little red. Was she drunk? You only noticed now. But yeah, it is night. I am drinking, so I guess I am night drinking. It's kind of weird to drink at any other time of the day. Maybe afternoon, late afternoon, evening. Like late afternoon to evening to night. Like that's like the period where it's like people usually drink, I suppose. I don't fucking know. I should stop talking. People may notice how stupid I am. Do you have money to even buy alcohol? You didn't.
合法よ。バックヤードの整頓してたら期限切れそうなビール券が出てきたのよ。ねえ、いらないからって母さんがくれたの。日頃の行いの成果よね。
It's so, but I can't drink.
いいの。あんたお茶でも飲んでな。一人で飲んでたら虚しくてね。ほらほら。
Whoops. Fine, I'll hang out with you. I stood up at her urging, but I wasn't reluctant. If she was inviting me, spending some time together wouldn't be so bad. Even when she looked like this, she was still undeniably my old teacher.
何そんなジロジロ見て。文句でもあるの
Whoops. Nope, none. Let's go.
妙に素直な。何か企んでるのかしら。
Rude. Oh, her room actually looks somewhat nice. Looks a lot less messy than I would have expected it. It's weird. And so we went to her room. It was Western style and had a fairly different feel to it from my own. They remodeled the place where Sao Tome became a convenience store, so this room was built to Sensei's desires. I'm just gonna try to say Miharu instead of Sensei if I don't forget it. The atmosphere differed greatly from my own, which was used as storage. She had a bed rather than a futon, and around it... Why don't you tidy up a bit? It's not even that bad! Could be way worse. All she has is like a bunch of magazines next to where she usually sits. Half-read books, clothes out in the open, electronic cords littered on the floor. That one's being used! That's neatly in a fucking basket! That wasn't anything you'd call trash, so it didn't look dirty to that extent, but it was certainly in no condition to invite people over. It's fine! The only thing that's annoying is like how messy the goddamn covers are. And maybe like the books that are scattered about, even though there's like still a little bit of space on the table.
うっさいな。この方が機能的なの。いちいち物を探すよりずっといいし。
Is it?
それよりもっと言うことないの？貴重な女の子の部屋よ。
Woman? Wonder what that is. An incantation? At the very least, no being that corresponded to those syllables existed in the area.
ああ、いいわ。適当に座って。あんたはお茶ね。私はこっち。
Lone malt and cup beer lined the floor, and the lone number of them betrayed the limits of her finances. Where's the tea?
あ？こっちとらもんなしなんだから、セルフサービスに決まってるでしょ。だから言ってやったのよ。私が働いたら、その分誰かが職を失うって。世の中は弱肉強食だって。
So, you got hit.
そうなのよ。間違ってるのは、私を理解できない世の中の方なのにね。労働が尊いなんて、つまらない価値観よ。そんなものをありがたがるのは資本主義の奴隷、プロレタリアートの自己欺瞞に過ぎない。
Okay, calm down there, Karl Marx. Where did you even learn those words? Sensei yelled profusely, already drunk and red in the face. Didn't look like she drank a lot, but maybe it had good mileage. Results of adapting to her neat lifestyle, I
ア
guess.
キトはどうなの？私と母さん、どっちの味方する？
It's possible I can't say I don't understand both sides. I replied with the largest compromise I could to avoid raining on her parade.
八面六臂なこと言ってると、女の子に嫌われるわよ。
Huh?
違った。八宝菜？まあいいわ。女の子に嫌われるぞ。
People pleaser.
そうそう。ここは女の子の部屋で、部屋の主が私で、つまりアキトは、私に嫌われたくてそんな意地悪なこと言ってるの？そういうのはもう卒業しなさい。
Sorry, I'll think about what I did.
素直に謝れるのは女の子的にもポイント高い。私のポイントも上がったわ。
Sensei spoke in drunk and unabashed rapid fire. Continued my role as listener while sipping on the tea I got myself. She's currently drunk. Ask her about why the fuck she apologized in her sleep.
私ばっか話してる。あんたもなんか面白いこと喋ってよ。
Or so I thought before she switched things up. No, I'm fine, just listening to you.
悲しいこと言わないの。あんただって愚痴りたいことあるでしょ。ほらほら吐き出す。
You mean about things like dealing with someone's unreasonable requests on top of being made to stick around for their night drinking?
はいはいはい。空見くんのちょっといいとこ見てみたい。
She was drunk enough that sarcasm didn't work. This could be problematic. I don't have any interesting stories.
大丈夫よ。私は心が広いから。アキトの話ならきっと何でも楽しいよ。
Then, we had a freshman come see our astronomy club today.
リア充は外ろ。
You changed within seconds!
ごめんごめん。ちょっとね、私の中の闇が暴れ出しちゃった。
I get you. Can I
や
continue?
っぱやめましょう。天文部以外の話がいいな。
What? You really are being unreasonable.
あれよ、さやとは最近どうなの？
He's doing well. She seems busy with new members at Seisen.
アキトは相変わらず真面目ね。この牧年人が。
くぬくぬ。
I understood what she was trying to say, but it didn't feel like being teased. I took the safe path. What about you? The manager brought up marriage interviews before, didn't she?
最近はないわね。それよりやたらと店番押し付けてくるし、もう諦めたんじゃない？そう、諦められて。これもう私、いらない子扱いじゃん。
Don't get depressed. I'm sure there are still good things.
まだアキトはこうして私に付き合ってくれるもんね。だからやっぱり聞きたいな、アキトの面白い話。
I told you I don't have any.
なんもないの？面白いことがないなんて人生楽しい？
What a drunk getting irrationally angry when I'm actually talking about something. I'm satisfied in my own way. I do my honest best at studying club. I'll graduate in the
そうい
future.
やアキト、卒業したらちゃんとニートになる？
Why would I do that? I'm thinking about things seriously.
アキトもニートになったら私への風当たりが弱まるし。
I'd really like you to support your former student a little.
そんな昔のことは忘れたわ。今はただ仲間が欲しいだけ。
Ah, Jesus Christ.
自宅警備こそが天職。店番もいやいややってるナチュラルボーンニート、それが私なのよ。あんたにもその素晴らしさを教えてあげたい。だから勇気を出して始めてみましょう。
That's not. She's definitely refused societal rehabilitation. Seems like I hadn't pushed in enough to dispel that attitude. Anyway, I'm either going to college or getting a job. Being in need is an option.
もう何よその言い方。私は論外だって？
That's what I meant. If anything, I want you to help me.
はあ？私に何をしろと？
I'm still thinking of things, so I'd like a little information. For example, you're an ex-teacher, right? Want to hear about things like the teacher training course for a reference. She looked disgusted from the bottom of her heart at my
無
words.
駄よそんなの。見ての通り教師なんて名ばかりのダメ人間だし。
To me, you're still the sensei I respect.
やめてよそういうの。
But the unfaltering sensei from the
や
past.
めてって言ってる。
I noticed just then. Her expression clearly had changed. She no longer rambled like a drunk. Displayed true revulsion. I lost my voice for an instant, almost wincing at the quiet pressure. But I felt like I couldn't back away from this. Why? However things are now in the past, Wait, was that wording bad? I didn't even think Sensei accepted her current state, though.
しっかりしてたわけないでしょ。
Even so, you were a good teacher to us.
違う。うまく取り繕ってただけ。結局それもダメになったけど、教え子が問題を起こしたり、上司に仕事をしつけられたりして、その度に吐きそうなくらい嫌になってさ、最後に仕事なくなって、やっと気づいたんだから。ああ、私って先生向いてなかったんだって。
Sensei.
今の私が本当の私。はい。あんたたち全員騙されてました。
Beer must have made her more emotional than usual. She didn't even play it off as a joke. She was truly refuting my words. But I learned from you and started stargazing.
そうね。すごい情熱だった。あんたも、ほうき星も、さやも。
Right, and you too.
私みたいなダメなのが担任じゃなかったら、あの時もちゃんと仲裁でって。ほうき星のこと、ちゃんと見送って、ノート破いたりもしないで。まともに点も
That's not.
続けてたんでしょ。
Whoops.
もう疲れた。寝る。
With that, she rolled onto her side on the bed, her face turned away from me in blatant irritation. Were my words wrong? Was I insensitive to the wounds in her heart? Please wait. If what I said offended
ゴミ
you?
は後で片付けるから。出て行って。
Sorry.
謝るくらいなら、放っておいて。
No, I'll do it. I quickly got all the empty cans and cups together. Sensei kept her back to me and didn't move a muscle. She probably detached herself, but still couldn't give up. There had to be something they could do for her. Those feelings only grew stronger. That's empty. That's empty. I'm out of beer. Fuck. Oh well. I walked along the red-dyed street. Some time has passed since graduating from my old school. Sensei couldn't find her another job, and I heard rumors that she cooped herself up at home. They spread in no time, as they do in rural communities. But there were circumstances to that, and I didn't know what the person in question thought herself, so I went to someone who told me out of worry for her. There was no clerk in the familiar building today. Excuse me? I tended to call out to her in the back, where she should have been. But nervousness won out, and only an uncertain voice came out, barely resonating within the store. But I did say something. With that excuse in my heart, I stepped into the back of the store. Right then, I heard a voice from within. I stopped unconsciously out of alarm. But I wasn't timid enough to run. I listened to the conversation where I stood.
でも、いつまでもそうしてるわけにはいかないでしょ。だって、もうできないもん。無理なの。
Sensei laid her emotions bare with the manager, while the manager tried to soothe
太
her.
陽でショックだったのはわかるよ。でも、他にも行けるところあるでしょう。違う。落ちたんじゃないから。え？
This was what I heard before. After losing her job, she went to an interview to try to resume somewhere else. But her health took a turn, and she went home partway through it, unable to find work again. She must have not talked about that with the manager.
どういうこと？落ちてないの？私から蹴っちゃったの。気分悪くなって、面接続けられなくて、帰ってきちゃっただけだから。そんな勝手なことを。そう。勝手なことよ。だって私、もうダメになったんだから。なら、別のところで雇ってもらえば？他にもあるでしょう。だから無理なの。もう私、仕事続けられない。
I listened in silence. It wasn't that she wouldn't work. She couldn't. Her near-shouted voice scared me.
教師の仕事も、他の仕事も、もう無理なの。面接の時にはっきり分かった。そこに通ってる子を見て気分悪くなるような人間なのよ。そんな。またあの子たちの相手するんだって。問題起こされて、親にも他の先生にも謝って、仕事が山積みになって、それを想像したら吐きそうになっちゃって。そんな私が働けるわけないじゃん。そんなこと言わないの。前のところではちゃんとやってたじゃない。やめてよ。そんなことないって。私が一番よくわかってる。取り繕ってただけだし。無理して笑ってるってわからなかった。ねえ母さん、わかってくれないの？
Oops.
やめて。怒鳴らないで。無理なの。
Fuck.
先生の仕事なんて心配ばかりで。先生なんて向いてなかった。何も向いてない。他の仕事も全部。
She was proper. Like she got that little talking. She was properly scarred from this.
母さんのこと困らせてね。いつも、今も。わかってるけど、ごめんなさい。私、もう無理だから。わかった。少し休みなさい。休んで、落ち着いたら、また何か考えて。きっと、疲れてるだけだから。気が抜けちゃったんでしょ。落ち着けば考えもまとまるでしょう。 そうね。放っておいて。
That's right, that's what she said. But I was utterly terrified. I couldn't bear to listen to the kind Saotome yell in such grief. Came to check up on her. I thought I would ask her what happened. Then he ran like a bitch. I ran away. I couldn't accept reality. Then Sensei gave up. She stopped trying to be our old teacher. No, not just that. It was as if she were flaunting her hopelessness, her undisguised attitude to those around her. She dropped out from society, a worthless human, an outcast, a shut-in, a dirty neat. Her complete change bewildered us at first, but before we knew it, we had given up just like her. We conformed to Sensei's continued self-belittling.
ごめんね。私って実はこういう人間だったの。
Accepting that was easy, but I should have been able to notice. I had numerous chances to feel the pain she carried inside. I should have yelled at the top of my lungs that she wasn't a worthless human. The next morning, I prepared for school and left Saotome like I always did. But right at that moment, I met an unexpected sight.
あら、アキト。
Miharu, what are you doing up this early? What exactly?
見りゃわかるでしょ。掃除。
She was sweeping the front of the store with a bamboo broom. She moved sloppily and it didn't feel like she was taking it seriously at all, but her being up this early in the first place was rare.
やりたくてやってるわけじゃないし、やることないならって母さんに押し付けられたのよ。たく、早起きなんてするもんじゃないわ。
Wake up early.
まあね。
I see. She fell asleep partway through drinking last night. She didn't have a full grasp of when she normally went to bed. But it shouldn't have been that late last night. She probably knew that too. So obviously she remembered the reason she stopped drinking.
まあ、いいわ。適当にやったら二度寝でもするし。アキト、あんたもくだらないこと考えてないで、さっさと行きなさいよ。
Nonsense.
くだらないことはくだらないことよ。ほら、遅刻するわよ。
Sorry, I'm off. At a glance, our exchange was largely unchanged, but she was clearly in a bad mood. She still drug last night's events around. Her words made her remember unpleasant things. Honestly, couldn't let things pass either. My behavior was terribly awkward. I wish I could do something. The whisper spontaneously leaked out of me, but it's not like I said it flippantly. I wanted to do something for her. I wanted her to get back on her feet. Before I knew it, I was searching for things I could do for her. Those feelings had grown stronger recently. Honk honk.
それでは、ミーティングを始めます。新年度最初の集まりですので、よろしくお願いします。
Anyways, I don't know why I just totally zoned out like that. Today was the Six Stars Club meeting. Everyone's faces were filled with motivation at the first one of the year. Each school proceeded with reporting on their status. Eventually, members grew along with budgets from acknowledgement of our results, as well as our reputation among students at other schools. Our results were steadily increasing.
次は、星野大地さん。では、ここは手はず通り私が。
Yeah, you got this. I was still the representative, but I let Yamada attend today as well. Upon receiving new members, it was her idea to gain some experience as an upperclassman, at least a little.
部長の手を煩わせるまでもないということを、みんなに見せてやりましょう。
Though she said that, in short, she was honestly thinking about it and preparing to take the baton. It made me happy.
では、私から報告します。マイヤの輝きに集いし新たな星ですが。
Despite her Shiratori-style expressions, Yamada pulled off the report well. I could leave things to her. The club would be able to continue without issue. The meeting finally ended and the members scattered. Some went home immediately, some remained to shoot the breeze with club members from other schools. Going home, Yamada?
途中までコロナと一緒に。さあさあ、ひなみん、買い物だよ、買い物。あ、アキ兄もお疲れ様。
You too, Corona. Already a second year, huh?
そうだよ、後輩ができたんだ。なので、これからはもっと頑張ります。
Yeah, I've got hopes for you. The usual pair left the club room together. I didn't have anything else to do, so I guess I'll go home.
さや、途中まで一緒に帰ろっか。
Hikari called out to Saya as she also prepared to leave. Also, prepared to leave. Maybe I'd mix in with them.
今日はちょっと。
But Saya responded with a bit of a troubled look. They exchanged words in hushed voices, then...
じゃあ、アキトもお疲れ様。私は先に帰るね。
Yeah, good work. What were they talking about?
ちょっといいかな。
With Hikari gone, Saya called to me this time. What's up, need something?
話したいことというか、聞きたいことかな。ちょっと気になっちゃって。
Got it, let's head outside. Meiko Academy's campus, how the students would normally be daunted by the upper-class atmosphere. But while walking around, the Six Stars Club ads covered the bulletin boards. Yoshioka and Korona were giving it up their all. Was the only thing we felt our reputation in.
ああ、もしかして、むつら星の会の人？
はい、そうです。ミーティングがあったのでお邪魔してます。
動画とか見てますよ。応援してます。頑張ってください。
We haven't seen us. We weren't seen as outsiders, and they cheered us on. We've been getting this kind of response lately. You can really feel how smooth things are going.
そうだね。こういうのって嬉しいな。
We walked for a bit until we found a bench. We weren't in any rush, so we both sat down. So you wanted to talk?
聞きたいこと。
Her eyes reflected me, the colors in them somehow seeming to flicker. It didn't seem to be something serious, but it also wasn't something she could say lightly. I couldn't quite measure it.
よく考え事してるみたいな気がして。
I guess so. Not just today, I was thinking a lot lately, so I figured it out.
会についてじゃないよね。他のこと？
Yeah, about Sensei a little. I said
先
Sensei again.
三春先生だよね。
She knew her well, just like me. She could probably listen to what I had to say. I made her idea yesterday and she's still dragging it all around.
それはいつもみたいな不真面目な話じゃなくて？
Yeah, I made her remember something bad from the
どんな
past.
こと？
Right, something from when she was a teacher. So I made a questioning look, then I realized something. So, did you not hear about why she stopped working as a teacher?
仕事場がなくなっちゃったからじゃないの？
No, after that. She looked for more work for a while, but gave up on that too and became a NEET, right?
体調を崩しちゃったとか、そういう風には聞いてるよ。
I see. Since I didn't stop looking for work, she stopped being able to. She didn't wish for things to turn out like this. No, that wasn't all. Her heart was wearing thin from piling anxieties even before we graduated. She smiled in front of Sai and the others when we did, but after that, what she told me at our chance meeting was her true self that she couldn't hide. Miharu said the truth was that being a teacher was painful. She returned my gaze, surprised, but I wasn't lying. When she was a teacher, I met her by chance on graduation day. She looked exhausted. She said she couldn't be a good teacher, but I didn't really understand at the time. She lost her confidence in her job, then failed at finding another one with that hanging over her, I heard.
それは誰から？
From the manager and sensei Miharu herself in the past. It was kind of eavesdropping, though.
そんなことあったんだ。
Her whispers mingled with sighs, not thighs. That would be weird. Just kind of like plops her face like into Akito's lap, just starts talking like, I can't hear you talk like this. I don't care. Manthas. But maybe the people around Sensei didn't understand her as well as I thought. Or maybe my eyes were on her more than I thought.
それでどうすればいいか悩んでる。
Something like that.
先生を助けてあげたいんだよね。
Yeah, if I can, that is. So I understand everything, but part of it's my fault.
北斗くんの
Even though she taught me how to watch the stars, and I started seriously stargazing, I fought with Hikari, got stubborn, and gave it up. Even the journal. I clearly heard as much. Her student who stopped watching the stars, since I remembered it even now. She wasn't attacking me, but lamenting her own powerlessness. That just wasn't true, though. The one at fault was the old, hard-headed me. Maybe going along with her neat thing is a kindness, but I still can't be okay with that. I figured I have to start by apologizing properly.
謝るか。よくわからないけど、謝るだけじゃ届かないんじゃないかな。
What do you mean?
確かに、先生を傷つけちゃった。私だって辛かったけど。でも、それを言うだけじゃ足りない気がする。だって、先生との思い出は、それだけじゃないでしょ。星を見て、いろいろ教わって。だから、アキト君も私も、ここにいる。そのことも、ちゃんと伝えなきゃ。
Solemn emotion clearly resided in Saya's eyes, not just over the guilt she carried from the past, but with hope for the present. Those two-colored eyes bore that precious light. You're right. Thanks, Saya. I feel like I've understood something.
分かってもらえたなら嬉しいな。
Sorry about that. She grinned. It was a smile that rivaled the stars in how it calmed me.
私も先生のことは心配だから。アキト君のこと信じるよ。私の分も一緒に伝えてあげてほしいな。
You should say it yourself.
アキト君が一番だと思う。あっくんがミハル先生のこと心から心配してるって。
You think so?
だったから。
Whoops. You think so? I'm sure everyone.
他のみんなより先生のことちゃんと見てるでしょ。私たちが知らないことも知ってるみたいだし。
Hearing that made me a little embarrassed, and I wasn't intending to do anything that
頑
special.
張ってね、あっくん。先生のことよろしく頼むよ。
Yeah, leave it to me. I have no intention of hesitating, though. I will get my feelings across to her. I strengthened that resolve and nodded at Saya's words. I finished watching the store and had some free time. Returning to my room, I took out my mark from the bookshelf. Alright, nice, let's go. Destination Sensei's room. Doctor, got a minute?
そんな夜更けになのよ。私はもう寝る時間なのよ。
Lie, you're always up this late. I'm coming in.
まったく。嫌だと言ってるのに異性の部屋に押し入るなんて。
No one.
どうしてこんな子に育ったのかしら。
Dead people. Sorry I had to tell you something no matter what.
何？くだらない話だったら聞かない。
She glared at me unpleasantly, thinking it would be something brazen like yesterday. But I wouldn't back down at that. I felt the momentum of my resolve and let my words fly. Why don't we go somewhere together on our next day off?
Huh?
She yelled in surprise after a pause. Well, it was probably totally unexpected, so no hopping
母
that.
さんに何か言われた？
Nope, it's my own idea. As, well, an apology for
昨
yesterday.
日？
Since I brought up bad memories.
別に気にしてないわよ。つけ上がらないの。
Well, anyways, why don't we go to Harbor Town and let off some steam?
ハーバータウン？
You got even more
バ
surprised.
カ！行くわけないでしょ？そんなリア充の側通。私を何だと思ってるの？私にとっちゃ魔界よ。何を企んでるのよ、あんた。私に何をするつもり？
So I actually had these.
何それ？プラネタリウムの招待券？
They're pair tickets I got from Morita.
専門部の人と行けばいいじゃん。
Everyone in the Six Stars Club has them, so I've got to invite someone outside of them.
だからって、私を連れてく必要ある？
なるえ。
タケでも誘いなさいよ。
なるえ。It's not somewhere you go with two guys, is it?
じゃあ、小太郎。
That's impossible!
嫌だ。行かない。私を人混みに放り込むなんて、鬼畜よ。ストレスで死んじゃう。
She's obstinately refused, but this was to be expected. Oh well, guess I'll take someone else.
そうよ、そうよ。それでいい。利口なアキトは嫌いじゃないわ。
But I'll be out all day, so you'll have tons of store watching to do, huh? Do your best alone with the manager. But if you went with me, it'd be a free pass out of work. The manager would probably allow it too.
こいつ、本気？
I was thinking of splurging a little and eating some tasty food. I'd even pay for yours.
おいしいもの。
She was instantly on the verge of surrendering. Her lazy side and her shut-in side were fighting each other. How about it?
そんなこと、母さんが認めるわけない。店番が2人ともいなくなるなんてありえない。
The decision fell to a third party in the end. And let's ask. If it's okay, then it's settled.
後で吠え面かかないことね。
So we'd like the weekend off with Sensei. So I'd like the weekend off with Miharu-Route.
空見くんと2人でハーバータウンに？うん、別に構わないわよ。楽しんでらっしゃい。
バカなshe should know that at this point the manager is trying to marry her off to Octo. Like, anything like them going to a famous date spot together on their day off would be like heaven to her. I did a victory pose inside my heart while Sensei screamed in anguish next to me.
その分、他の日に長めに働いてもらいましょう。もちろん、2人ともね。
Right, leave it to me. Sorry for the trouble.
測ったな、秋田
Thus, the plan to go out with Sensei was completed. Next, I had to make preparations until the day of. Hey, hey. I don't know why that fade annoys me so much. Something about it. The promised day arrived with the weekend. I carefully readied myself to go out of my room. Yes, thank you very much. I finished the necessary phone call and my preparations were complete. Those are fine, right? These clothes went weird. Miharu, are you ready? Can we leave soon?
いいよ。
I opened the door and entered her room. It was as untidy as ever, but its owner was very different. She has her hair back and even has some lip gloss on, seemingly. Very nice! Very nice! I want to rub that fur on the coat. Like, just get closer, just like motion to grab her shoulders, scared, then suddenly, it's so soft!
何？文句でもある？
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen you dressed up.
これ以上失礼なこと言うとひっぱたくわよ。
Her hair was lightly fixed, and she wore some decent clothes rather than her usual jersey. It wasn't all that much, but completely different from her normal sloppiness. This was the current Miharu, not the one from when she was a teacher. Today seemed like it'd be pretty fun.
ちょっときついかな。大丈夫だと思う？
Absolutely, if you want, we can buy some new ones.
さすがにそこまで甘えられないわよ。今日だけなんだから、これでいいでしょ？
I didn't intend this to be only today, but I kept quiet. We're off, manager!
はい、みはるのことよろしくね。
I greeted the manager and headed to the bus stop. The route to Harbor Town would be here in a few minutes. Miharu shrunk her body uncomfortably while glancing around her surroundings. There was a nice spring-like weather, so I didn't think it was cold, but...
ねえ、やっぱりハーバータウンはやめない？
What?
さすがにハードルがね。適当にその辺散歩じゃダメ？
Nope, today's main event is the Planetarium.
なんでそんなに生き生きしてるのよ、アキト。
Well, it's fun.
くそ。私が怯えているのがそんなに楽しいのか？この隠れド S め。
I'm sure you'll have fun too. Come on, the bus will be here soon.
ああ、もう好きにしろ。後できっちり仕返ししてやるから。人が多い。
It is a day off. We arrived at Harbor Town and Miharu was already about to be swallowed by the pressure of the crowd. This was the leisure spot to be in Hoshinonaka City. To be in Hoshinonaka City. So I thought she... I would be at in Hoshinonaka City. So I thought she prepared herself for that.
いや、なんつうか、眩しいわ。なんで私、こんなところにいるんだろう。
Let's have lunch. Any requests?
軽いところでいいわ。ハンバーガーとか？
Is that fine? We're here after all, so let's see what we want.
それも捨てがたい。普段食べられないようなごちそう。
Anything but alcohol.
ごちそう。じゃあ、焼肉！
The result of her wavering was something decidedly unwomanly. Nothing wrong with that. If a woman wants grilled meat, give her grilled meat. Just make sure it's not your meat grilled. No one wants that. We savored the yakiniku lunch set, then went outside. Miharu's initial fear died down and she looked to be in a good mood. It's nice eating a ton of meat once in a while.
タレの味がまだ口の中に残ってる。こんなに満足いく食事をしたのは何年ぶりかしら。
Exaggerating. The manager would be mad at that.
いいでしょ、これくらい。あんたが告げ口したりしなければね。でも、よかったの？あんなごちそうになっちゃって。
That's fine. I'm the one who invited you
あ
today.
んたも立派になったね。
I had some freedom with money thanks to my job at South Tome. Using it like this should be fine. Well, next
プ
is...
ラネタリウムね。
No, let's walk around before
なん
that.
で？今の時間でもやってるでしょ？
Wouldn't that be a waste? We came all the way out here? All the way out here? Considering her normal lifestyle, it was quite remarkable that I could get her outside. Plus, I had some other business there. I decided in my head to go there
で
last.
も、ここに長居する必要は。
I won't stop you if you want to hurry back home to help with work.
よし、アキト。今日は一日中ハーバータウンを堪能しましょう。
Good thing she listened to me and understood. Then where do you want to go? Clothes?
いやよ、なんでそんな魔境に行かなきゃいけないの？
Hell?
こういうところは苦手なのよ。お似合いですよとか、こちらもどうですかとか、よくもまああれだけ心にもないこと並べられるものね。腹立つ。
You wanna know who has some nerves? The fucker lined this up. How dare you put the off there? That off is putting me off. Fuck you! You don't need to go that far. But I suppose I didn't need to forcefully pull her around. It would certainly be a bad match for her right now. But what is it you desire?
ゲームショップ。
I'll look for one. I took out my phone and looked. Toy stores for kids probably had stuff like that
あ
too.
とは漫画立ち読んだり、おやつ食べたりしたい。
Manga cafe? Fitting choice for you?
文句あるの？
No, I'm relieved if anything. It would likely be better to go along with her whim than try to shoulder making her have fun myself. Then let's go. I'll be find something interesting.
私にとっちゃホームグラウンドだし楽勝。
She started walking in high spirits. What a busy person she was, bouncing between fear and happiness.
今のゲームって いろいろあるのね。
Sensei looked a bit tired after coming out of her home turf. Are you okay? You look pale.
宣伝の画面見てたら酔った。
3D sickness,
い
huh?
やー、あれね。私が部屋に引きこもっていた間に、世界はこんなに進歩していたのね。
Okay, try not to sound too old. I don't know much about that stuff. It was definitely crazy.
あとは、子供連れが多くて地味に辛かったわ。
Miharu.
なんてね、冗談よ。私がそんなの気にするわけないでしょ。
Well, don't force yourself. Your eyes aren't smiling and it's scary. I know I thought you felt something that real and serious. I had to follow with something. For now, why don't we rest? Somewhere calm like a
カ
cafe.
フェで落ち着く？そんなの無理よ。カフェってリア充の住処でしょ。私が入ったら正気で灰をやられるわ。
Now, you can relax eating sweets and stuff.
甘いもの。そうね。秋田のメンツのためにも付き合ってあげる。
Felt like I gradually got the hang of handling her. It was a little frightening. Oh, look at that.
ご注文がお決まりになりましたらお呼びください。
I took a breather at the cafe today. We took a breather at the cafe table, or so I wanted to say, but Miharu wasn't having it. Her eyes incessantly darted around restlessly. She was clearly acting suspicious. Come down, Miharu. No one's paying attention to us. I meant to tell it to myself as well. Frankly, I wasn't used to these places either, so I couldn't show that weakness. But I couldn't show that weakness in front of Miharu acting so strangely. Invited her, so I had to be considerate of her.
そうは言っても、やっぱりこの空気はむずがゆい。なんなの？このおしゃれ空間。オシャンティーなワールド。息をするたびに自分のだらしなさが露見していく感じ。
You're exaggerating. And you don't look weird right now, okay?
本当に？浮いてたりしない？うわー、ニートが服着てるとか思われたりしない？
Of course not. You're like a beauty as long as you stay quiet, so I have some confidence.
それ褒めてないでしょ。
Like, just stop talking for a second and by God, you'll fine. What do you want? There's coffee, lots of stuff. There's pancakes and sandwiches too. Order whatever you want, my treat.
あ、パンケーキ美味しそう。
Blended coffee for me. What about you?
そうね。甘いの。カフェオレとパンケーキにするわ。
Got it. Excuse me, we're ready to order. Oh, it changed to proper CG. Nice. Look
お
at that
待たせ
cutie.
しました。大人のふわふわパンケーキ、ほろ苦カフェラテクリーム添えになります。
ありがとうございます。
My coffee and Sensei pancakes came out after some time since I stared hard at it.
アキト、聞いた？大人のパンケーキって。私の年齢を指して嫌味言ってるのかしら。
What's with the paranoia? That's just a dish.
やっぱり気になる。周りの視線が。
You've come this far, so here, have some milk.
私たちってどういう風に見られてるのかしら。ねえ、アキト、怪しまれてたりしない？犯罪の匂いとか醸し出してない？
No, of course not. You look relatively young after all.
そうなの？
So we're like an older sister and little brother, for example.
弟が敬語って、それちょっとおかしいでしょ。私の名誉のためにも改めなさいよ。
Well, it's a
強
habit.
情なやつね。
Anyway, eat your pancakes before they get cold. They're freshly made, aren't they?
そうね。まあ仕方ない。あんたのおごりだし、あ
I've
り
never
がたく
seen
いただくわ。
pancakes that thick before. She got a piece and put it in her mouth and suddenly stopped moving. Shock spread to her face. How is it? Then it filled with a smile. She immediately took another bite and savored it slowly.
いいじゃない。
I'm glad.
母さんが焼いたホットケーキとはまるで違う。こんなに軽くてふわふわなのに、しっかりとした食感が。優しい甘さが口の中で踊るようよ。そして、このカフェラテクリーム。コーヒーの苦味がケーキの甘みを
Why is everyone a goddamn food critic in these games?
おいしい。
Like, why did it all be, oh my god, the bitterness of this fiercely complements the sweetness of the other dish. Like, nobody talks like that. They're just like, oh shit, this tasty. Keep going. Like, have you ever, like, just been out with friends? One of them just ordered, I don't fucking know, like a goddamn steak. And suddenly they start off on this, like, fucking 5-minute tangents over how the goddamn, the fucking mouthfeel of the steak is absolutely perfect to enhance the experience of eating this most splendid meal. Like, nobody fucking talks like that. Are they all food critics? Shut the fuck up. They are not. She's a teacher. She's a goddamn neat. She probably hasn't eaten any good food in probably fucking no years. Probably been casting goddamn meat buns. Nothing else. How the fuck she got the vocabulary to talk about this bullshit? I call it bullshit. This is not a thing. Fuck off. Anyways, her deep emotions got through despite the trite expressions, making even me smile unconsciously.
そっか。リア充どもは毎日こんなものを。ひきニートとは食事からして違っていたのね。
That's the weird expression. Miharu, don't you eat sweets from Sao Tome all the time? Those aren't bad either.
そういえばそっか。あれも美味しいけど、でもこれは格別よ。
No, I'm gonna save the here in case. There's a lot of safe slots as usual. Yes.
なんだろう。シチュエーション補正？まあいいか。美味しい、美味しい。
She contentedly savored her pancake. Everything aside, as long as she was happy, that was fine. I wanted her to enjoy this outing. With that intent, her smile gave me more energy than anything.
何よ、ジロジロ見て。あげないからな。
Okay, I really like that one. Nah, I'm already full from her smile.
ならいいけど。
Yo, what the fuck? He just casually threw that line out.
今、アキト、変なこと言わなかった。
Something weird?
まあいいわ。
I like how she's just like... Wait, was that just something incredibly cringe? I don't know. Yeah, sure, I guess. After that, we went by an arcade, a bookstore, and various places according to Sensei's wishes. Miharu's wishes. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking retard. When it became evening, the sun would sink soon, revealing the stars in the sky.
疲れた。これもう、明日筋肉痛よ。
You did good, Miharu, but there's still one place left I wanted to get to.
わかってる。プラネタリウムでしょ？そこ行ったらおしまいね。
You would wrap up today's leisure with some stargazing at the planetarium using the tickets I got from Morita. It was where I would achieve the number one thing I wanted to
で
do.
も、なんで最後なの？昼間でもいいじゃない。
I want to do the last showing today. It was more
な
convenient.
んで？
We'll talk once it's over. Come on, let's go.
アキトが何か企んでる。怖いわ。
She followed me despite her dubious face. We headed straight for the planetarium. We arrived on time for the showing as planned. Miharu and I sat next to each other in the seats, looking up at the dome. A large percent of the other seats were filled as well.
疲れてるから寝ちゃったりするかもね。怒られる前に謝っておくわ。
I'd wake you up if you did.
うーん。
Her expression showed her true intentions in spite of what she said. Ever since before the program began, her gaze held anticipation for the stars.
冬から春へ移りゆく季節。空の星々もまた、その流れに合わせて、その姿を変え続けています。
The show started. The winter sky projected onto the dome, flowing east to west. Today's program was an introduction to famous stars in the sky, expressing the change in season through the movement of them. The commentary seemed to be live rather than recorded. Words resonated within, along with the shifting of the stars. I didn't come to the planetarium often, but every time I did, it was spectacular. Artificial stars created with the sincere desire to convey the real thing by someone with knowledge and passion. There was nowhere with... That was an accident. I was not planning on ripping off my headphone there. That was an accident. Whoops. There was no way it wouldn't resonate with me. Not just me, though, of course. She's slightly tilted. I glanced at Miharu next to me. She looked up at the dome wordlessly. She said she might fall asleep, but that wasn't the case after all. Sky full of stars, roll credits, reflected in her eyes as she lost herself in the narration, savoring this time. That expression was no different from the one I'd seen numerous times from my friends. She had appeared as someone looking at the night sky at a stargazing meet, thus rushing with the twinkling lights. She really did love the stars, even the detached Miharu who resigned herself to idleness. Even her heart hadn't changed. It's fun, isn't it?
もう、そうね。
Glad you came. Glad you're happy then.
そうね。アキトも嬉しそう。
She looked at me and smiled, but for some reason it felt a little fragile and lonely. That face strengthened my determination once more. I would tell her what needed to be said. She may try to run, but no giving up.
さて、今の季節では少々見づらくなってしまいますが、皆さんにぜひ見ていただきたい星があります。
I'll be there, bitch!
なので、少し時間を巻き戻して、冬の夜空をご覧になっていただきましょう。
Star moved east to west in a performance you could never see outside a planetarium. Then starlight would fall near the horizon right now. Then starlight that would fall near the horizon right now was displayed, a special, meaningful, familiar sight to us.
西の空に浮かぶ光の集まり。これがプレアデス星団です。
Oops, the six stars.
別名、ムツラ星とも呼ばれています。このプラネタリウムを訪れる人であれば、最近その名を耳にしたことがあるかもしれません。昨年12月、この星の中市を中心として、プロジェクトスターライトという天文イベントが行われました。
The live narrator spoke unexpected words.
主催したのは、市内各校に通う天文部の学生たち。その団体の名が、ムツラ星の会です。人々に星を見る楽しさを教え、明るい夜空を取り戻そうという計画。彼らの思いは、多くの人に感動を届けました。歴史を紐解けば、このプラネタリウムも、彼らと同じ理想を抱き、建てられたものです。普段は街の明かりでかき消されてしまいますが、見上げればそこには数えきれない星があって、その輝きに私たちは魅せられています。だからこそ、皆さんに伝えたいのです。星を愛する人の思いを忘れないでほしいのです。夜空に浮かぶたくさんの星は、こんなにも美しいものだということを。
Stronger emotion than before permeated the narration. A bit I felt so because I was one of the 6 stars she spoke of. I didn't think that was all. The staff of this planetarium, gathered under the director and his ideals, surely wouldn't lose to me in passion. Nor to Miharu sitting next to me. The showing ended and the lights returned. I remained in the seat for a while, enjoying the afterglow.
お疲れ様。
You didn't go to sleep after all, huh?
なあね。居眠りしなくてよかったわ。
She stretched her back, then smiled mischievously
ま
to
さ
me.
か、あんなの用意してたなんてね。聞いてなかったら、さすがにあんたに失礼だった。
Oh, I didn't prepare that! What? That was a complete surprise to me as well! Huh? What do you mean?
うつら星の貝が出てきたの。あれって、アキトの差し金でしょ？まったくキザなことを。
No, I didn't know about that either.
じゃあ、誰が？
それは私です。
A voice broke into our conversation.
森田さん？
My boy Morita stood where Miharu turned to, giving a tender smile and holding an envelope of
今
documents.
日、空見くんがあなたを連れてくるという話を聞きましたのでね。二人にちょうどいいと思い、むつら星の会に言及するこのプログラムを使ってみました。
Thank you. I was really happy as a 6 stars member.
特別な日なのでしょう？皆さんへの感謝の気持ちと考えてください。
何？特別な日ってどういうこと？
Miharu looked at Morita and I in confusion, unable to swallow the situation. I couldn't hide my shock either, but I had to proceed with what I planned. Well, I have something I want to say to you. It's serious. That's why I had you come to this planetarium today.
何？真剣なことって、ついに私が追い出されるとか？
No, that's not it. I took my bag and brought out something vital.
どうしたの？それ。なんで持ってきてるの？
Whoops. Miharu furrowed her brow upon seeing the patchy planetary observation journal I held. Nothing could be done about that reaction. I had absolutely no good memories for her. I got this from you before, right? But there's something I couldn't say at the time. So I said today, there are 2 things I want to get across. First, I need to apologize to you. She scowled
そ
conspicuously.
んなこと言われても困る。
But I want you to listen. If you don't, we can't move forward.
そんな必要は。
I'm sorry, Miharu. With no regard for how precious the joy of the stars you taught me was, I completely wasted your feelings. These words aren't enough to atone, but I'm so sorry.
別に謝る必要なんてない。私を傷つけようとしてやったわけじゃないでしょ。
Then it's true that I hurt you.
生意気なこと言わないで。
I made you suffer because of that. No, even now.
そんなことない。あんたのせいだなんて。他にも疲れることが山ほどあって、その結果が今の私なの。だから、謝られても困る。
I know that. I don't mean to make light of the pain you carry. But even still, it was something I had to say. There was no need to reopen her wounds. There was no point bringing that up now. I had those thoughts. But we couldn't go on like this. It was necessary to move forward. For Miharu, for me. We made our project a success and the 6 Stars Club had a bright future. But the way we were wasn't enough to move on. Like hell we could leave Miharu behind with her true emotions bottled up.
話はそれで終わり？ならもう帰りましょう。
Nope, I said 2 things, didn't I? I have one more thing to say.
何？
She glared at me with narrow eyes, not even trying to hide her discontent. But I fearlessly continued and spoke. The other thing I want to convey is gratitude.
何よ、それ。
I'm here today because of you. I was taken by the beauty of the stars and began to watch them. You were the one who...
違うでしょ？
Her anguished voice, her grief-given form, was proof of the scars she bore.
私は無力だったのよ。アキトの心を大切にしてあげられなかった。傍から見ればくだらない意地でも、私が何とかしてあげなきゃいけなかった。それが 私の役目だったのに。でも、何もできなくて。アキトは星を見るのをやめて、みんなの心が離れ離れになっちゃって。
Most teachers wouldn't give a shit about this. Most teachers wouldn't do anything about this. Like, hey, it's kids fighting. It fucking happens sometimes. Can't help it. Ah, whoops, that kid got beaten up by another one, just wanted to defend itself. Better punish both. You know, that kind of shit. I'm not salty at all. I mean, then again, like, another example, I think I talked about this before, how back when I was in 3rd grade, I used to every now and again just beat the shit out of a group of 4th graders. Like, it would, like, almost every day, like, in the morning, after I got to school, before the first class started, this huge brawl would ensue. And the teachers never once said anything. So, yeah. But we're recovered now. We've recovered now.
私は関係ないでしょ。
I stared into her eyes, but she looked away.
私が関わらないところで、あんたは勝手に立ち直ってた。ほうき星たちのおかげでしょ。その間、私はどうしてた？ぐうたらニーとして、仕事から逃げて。結局先生らしいことなんてやってない。もう、私のことは放っておいてよ。昔も今も、何もできないままなんだから。
Honestly, like, I know what's gonna happen. He's gonna open up the pages and show how the parts she fixed. Well, by God, all I can think about is just him going full Yakuza 0. Not Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami 1. Just like the scene where it was Yakuza Kiwami 1. I just, like, on top of the Millennium Tower, pulled out the will for Sarah. Just shows it. Like, basically like that. Just, like, grabs the book. Like, I don't know why, but that's just in my head right now. That's not true.
やめてよ、そういうの。そんなキラキラした目で、私を見るな。
No, you're the one who needs to look! Her voice rejected me like she would run away at any second. I took her hand in a desperate attempt to keep her here. She turned this way with a hint of hesitation. Even if it wasn't straight on, she finally looked at me.
なんなのよ、今さら。いいじゃない。あんたはあんたで頑張ってた。それはすごいことなんだから。私には関係ないんだから。
That's wrong. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just the Six Stars Club either. I was saved by you. It's thanks to you that I'm here now. That's no exaggeration either. So please, don't say you were insignificant.
何が言いたいの？わかんないんだけど。
That would be... I signaled Morita next to me with my eyes. He nodded and took out a thick stack of bound paper from the envelope he held.
それって。
空見くんたちにはすでに伝えたのですが、これは私が保管していた私物です。見ての通り見栄えが悪いものではありますが、それでも私は深い感銘を受けましたので。
ノートのコピー？
What Morita took out was a bundle of copied paper that he showed us before. A copy of the misshapen, taped-up Planetarium observation journal. So I gave the note I tore up to you, the notes I tore up to you, didn't she, Miharu? Then you submitted it to the contest. Morita was a judge at the time.
そうだったの。
Honest shock filled her voice, but her sudden expression didn't clear.
でも、それが何なの？未完成だったから、審査対象にもならなくて、そのまま帰ってきたのよ。結局、無駄だったじゃない。
No, it wasn't. Miharu stubbornly refused to acknowledge herself, as always. The only way to open her eyes was to throw even harder, truer words at her. Morita said he saw the journal and was moved. And it seems he remembered the names of the kids who made it this whole time.
それって、アキトたち？
ええ、そうです。空見明人、ほうき星光、 天の川さや。三日月天文クラブの子供たちですね。
Miyazuki Astronomy Club, the name we started calling ourselves after Miharu's guidance towards beginning real astronomy. We disbanded after Hikari moved, but we continued shining as members of the Six Stars. We couldn't make Project Starlight a success alone. It was because Morita, people from Harbor Town, cooperated with us that we're here now. What sparked that opportunity was this journal. So I have to thank you properly.
いいわよ、そんなの。
She weakly shook her head, denying my words. She hid her true pain behind her sedentary lifestyle alone. I wanted to relieve her from that pressure. I looked straight at her, thinking only
あん
that.
たたち、三日月天文クラブのノート、でしょ？それが認めてもらえたっていう、それだけでしょ。私は別に。
If this was a properly completed journal, maybe so. If this journal were completed, it certainly may have remained in everyone's hearts as the Mikazuki Astronomy Club's achievement. But it wasn't. It would have been strange for it to have been thrown out in its awful state. It was obvious, even I, until receiving it from Miharu, assumed it had been. That's what you saved. You changed it into something with value. And it came to hold significant meaning. Piece that completed Project Starlight. So that patchy journal is the proof of our and your feelings. Don't you think so? You remember, don't you, when you took this journal? Tears welled in her eyes. At this point, she probably remembered whether she wanted to or not. It was a painful memory, a shadow on her life as a teacher. And I invited her back. Looking at her, the tears made my chest painfully tight. But I couldn't look away. I remembered it clearly. The excitement of researching the stars we saw, enumerating them in the journal. And when I fought with Hikari, sadness, frustration, anger, I smashed all those emotions into it. We didn't directly see what came after, so I can only imagine, but there's no way you forgot how you felt after seeing it in pieces, right?
当たり前でしょ。あんな辛いこと、そう簡単に忘れるもんか。
Her voice was tearful. She already forgot about holding her emotions back and bore her whole
な
heart.
んとかしなきゃいけないのに。どうすればいいかわからなくて、何もできない自分が、たまらなく嫌になった。忘れるわけないじゃない。
But it wasn't only sadness. It looked at the tattered journal and thought once more about the significance of it being here. I wanted Miharu to notice it as well. You couldn't put your precious students' hard work to waste, so you submitted it to the contest. It looked ragged, its contents were incomplete, but still, you tried to get it across. Hard your students worked, how you wanted them to find the light that was about to go out.
それ
Her eyes overflowed, passing the point of being able to hide it. But she didn't refute me. It didn't seem like my guess was wrong. So it's not just our feelings crammed into that tattered journal. Yours are right here, too, wishing to be seen by someone. The things Miharu hoped for, her desire for us to continue astronomy was surely there, but ultimately it went ungranted. So then it was all for nothing? No, I don't think so. I wasn't the only one either.
なるほど。確かに。私が受け取っていたのは、子供たちの情熱だけではなかったのですね。詳しい事情までは分からず、その時はちゃんと答えることができませんでした。申し訳ありません。しかし、だからこそ、プロジェクトスターライト、再び彼らに巡ってきたチャンスを今度こそ無駄にしてはならないと思ったのです。
森田さん。
It wasn't just our enthusiasm got through. Miharu brought everything together. Just as our passion filled the letters and images of this journal, so was the journal itself filled with her love. The astronomy club kids and the teacher watched over them. started with both them and has led us to now. You said before, didn't you, Miharu? That teaching was nothing but pain. That you couldn't be a good teacher.
そうよ。わかってるなら、思い出させないでよ。本当に苦しくて、どうにもできなくて。なんとかしようと思っても、空回りばっかりで。
I won't deny that. I don't think we should make light of the sadness you've carried. But I don't want you to forget this. We're here because you saved us.
そんな言葉、
Whoops. Fuck. Enough!
私には。
Enough! Just for now. Please just accept it. How you tried to protect our passion and trusted with our journal. That would be enough. I won't say that was meaning in everything that was difficult. But you from that instant is the one thing I don't want you to deny. It took some time, but your wish really did come true. Miharu rejected her past self. She believed it was all for nothing and threw it all away. But therein there was a tiny lingering unquestionable light. She shunned now, supported by it, because she herself was actually inside it. If she couldn't believe that, then it would be my turn to support her. So I have some things I want to say. I'm sorry, and gripped her hand and stared at her dead on. Her eyes blurred with tears, but my face should have still been firmly inside them. There was no need to pretend not to look anymore. I would take her hand and save her from the engulfing darkness of regret. Confession!
何？
Not to anyone else, but to you, I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart. So glad you are our teacher. Miharu, thank you. Stargazer! Yes! The best soundtrack in this entire fucking game. Unquestionably. It's so good! Why are so many soundtracks that just have to do with stars so fucking good? Stargazer, Startail, Starlinker, Celestia. Why are they just good? Why are they just so amazing? A damn broken tears flooded over. Fighting to even wipe them, Miharu cried out. She sobbed like a child with no mind for appearances. As she did so, I embraced her. Hold on, Thank you so much, Miharu. Warm tears fell to my shoulder. Right now, the sensation felt nice. Words that needed to be said were finally delivered, shining a light into her darkness. It was surely still small, but it was there, supporting her. And one of the other good soundtracks in this game, immediately after. You spoil me, game. Hold on, let me check. What was the name again? Something Good Friends. Dear Good Friends. That was the name. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to make a... There we go. So I don't have to actually open the goddamn folder every time I want to start the game. There we go. I was being confused because I thought that line here was a line in the recording. Because that should be around where the censorship has the line. Yes, it is. So I thought, wait, what the fuck? Why is it showing there? I was very confused. Anyways. This is a comma version. They made a comma version of it, of Dear Good Friends. I remember Dear Good Friends because it's, in my opinion, the second best soundtrack in this game. And this part is usually a bit more energetic. She continued to cry like that for a while. Then she finally calmed down and the echoes within the dome subsided. Whoops, sorry. I released her as she twisted while averting her gaze. Have you calmed down? You're a mess, but you're a cute mess. She tried to hide her face. I grabbed her shoulders and held her in position to stare at her seriously. That's not true, is it? You're the same Miharu. What's been spoiled? I conveyed my gratitude, didn't I? Doesn't bother me. That's kind of why I made this program at the end today. I didn't exactly plan for this development, but I wanted time to get my thanks across after the screening. So I had Mori to help me. And result was a success. What's that about? Her face went red while she ruffled her hair. I guess she still didn't have some of her emotions sorted out. Alright, I feel refreshed after saying what I wanted to. What an unreasonable request. Morita, thank you again. He watched us with a wry smile.
早乙女さん、彼のおかげで悩みが晴れたようですね。
It really is just a calmer version of Dear Good Friends.
否定はしませんけど。
ならば、せっかくの機会ですし、改めて伝えておきましょう。
はい？なんでしょうか。
以前に言った仕事を斡旋するという話、どうでしょうか。例えば、プラネタリウムの職員など、そちらさえ良ければ手配しますよ。
She peeked at me. I cheered her on with a smile and thumbs up.
考えさせてください。
良い返事を待っています。
She's gonna become one of the people doing the stories, isn't she? Harbour Town's nighttime scenery was somehow dreamlike, like different from the morning. Don't need to sound like you got a goddamn hangover. Miharu moaned next to me as we walked to the bus stop. Are you okay, Miharu?
今私は己の人生について深く考察してるの。
That's all well and good, but aren't you a bit close? She had a firm hold on my arm and nestled into me, occasionally throwing glances to people passing by.
仕方ないでしょ。今多分私目が真っ赤だし、他の人に見られたくない。
Were they really? I didn't think anyone would notice in the darkness in the first place. But I acquiesced to her wishes. This sort of atmosphere wasn't that bad every now and then, was it? Man, today was a good day. Glad we came here.
だから余計なセリフはやめてって。やっぱりムカつくわ。
Why did you look so dissatisfied? You feel refreshed too, don't you?
もう確かにそうだけど、でもやっぱり年上の威厳というかね。
You mean the dignity that vanished the day you decided to become a shuten while he worked at your family's convenience store? Dignity as my elder, huh? It was simple to laugh that off coming from an eat. But I need to be honest today, to show that I wish to save the one I owed so much to. I already told you, no matter what anyone says, you're our former teacher. Hey, you're crying again.
だって、本当に、それ、心に来るんだもん。ずっと、辛かったんだから。仕方ないじゃない。
I stopped and lent my body to her. Today was for her, so she should say everything she wanted to.
あの時、ノートを見た時、すごく悲しかったの。あんな辛い思いしたくなかったんだもん。だから今日のこと気づかせてくれて
Whoops, fuck.
ありがとうって。
Also, I don't know why scrolling up takes so long for the goddamn to appear. Hold on, just I'm gonna make it like extremely over the top. There we go. There it opened.
私も信じてもらえないかもだけど、あんたに感謝はしてるから。
Understand? I'm happy too. The payoff of the anguished Miharu may have been just a tiny amount, but it wasn't zero. I would prove it. So we didn't need to stop moving forward.
もう、年を取ると涙もろくなるって、本当ね。
That's some more to go, right? Like work?
仕事。
Morita once again informed her that he would help her find a job, one at the Planetarium surrounding astronomy at that. Miharu asked for time to think without refusing. Her way of thinking may have changed today.
なんか、勢いに流された気がする。
That's not true. I'm sure you're suited for it.
なんでそんなこと言えるのよ。
You like the stars and kids, don't you? I'm always next to you, so I can tell. You're perfect for showing people the joy of watching the stars. She groaned without denying my point.
私が働いたら、そんなに嬉しい？
Of course. It would mean you've understood that you aren't worthless. I would support you as much as possible for that. I'd work hard at the store for your part too.
そっか。そこまで言うなら、少しくらいは。
Her wording was flippant, but her face was rejuvenated. She finally undid the bondage that bound her until now. Don't word it like that. Don't word it like that. Don't do that. She was trying to take a new step forward, and I couldn't have been happier. Thank you, Miharu.
でも少しよ。バリバリ働くとかそもそも無理だし、やっぱり無理だと思ったら諦めるのも大事。
As long as your motivation isn't zero, that's enough for now.
もう、それ言うのずるい。
Well, today's a day for memorial. It's the day you started life anew.
でも、私があんなに泣きわめいてたことは忘れてほしいんだけど。
It was pretty moving, so I don't think I ever will.
だから、その余裕はやめなさいってば。大変だ
Holy smokes! Holy smokes!
どうしたの？なんで江戸っ子？今日ハーバータウンに行ったら何があったんですか？これ何のグループ？
What is this group?
なんとすごいものが CM の後驚きの映像が
After these commercial messages.
リカリンため長すぎ。アキトがデートしてた。誰と？早乙女先生とデートしてた。なんで？ OG の人でしたっけ？かなり離れてますし、見間違いではプラネタリウムから一緒に出てきた。年の差。腕組んでた。デートじゃん。
That's a date.
びっくりしすぎて声かけられんかった。
Why the pissed off lion?
それは無粋かと。そっとしておいてあげよう。しかも先生泣いてたっぽい。
Let's just leave it alone. It's fine. It seems Saotome was crying. Let's fucking hear it. Like the complete 180. Let's just fucking hear it. So that was a lie. Apparently that is only going to take like 2 hours. They probably like read pretty quickly. So I shouldn't have taken the bait. Oh well, the season flowed quickly. Change came to my life in the spring. Then half a year passed, and my new life became my daily life. More than half a year went by since I became a third year. My life was centralized around preparing for an approaching, vitally important battle. Guess I'll take a short break. I looked up at the ceiling from my reference book. The fatigue I ignored until now surged when I loosened my concentration with deep breaths. Exam studying, the inevitable crucial event many students met with. For a while now, I had been expending physical and mental energy for that purpose. I paid much mind to college before, but I didn't put a lot of effort into studies. No, I now spent my days with eyes firmly on the future. Springtime hadn't come to my heart yet, but I faced college as my clear goal. Oh, springtime of your heart is like currently approaching like a runaway fucking train. I hope you realize that. I had many reasons, and I couldn't say which one was the deciding factor. If I had to say, maybe because I thought I wanted to turn my words into actions. I put a lot in motion with Miharu in mind. Didn't think it was okay to remain with some vague idea for my future in that case. Right then, the sliding door opened all of a sudden. My housemate came in like it was natural. She was dressed up on her jersey, a sight I had now gotten used to. Welcome home, Miharu. I'm in the middle of studying. She clearly saw through my relaxed guard, didn't she? What is it? Again? Is he gonna have to massage her? It was regrettable that I was treated like a pledged something. She brought me half forcefully to her room. Her daily rhythm changed greatly, but the mess didn't. You haven't gotten used to work yet.
What
Sounds normal. Miharu started working as a Planetarium staff member in the end. Yes, allow me to emphasize those unbelievable words. Miharu started working!
ミハルが再就職？空見くん、何をやったの？
I made her cry. Like, did you beat her up until she started work? That I didn't mean that by making her cry. The manager went wide-eyed in shock. Remembering now was nostalgic. Inevitable change was born in life at Saotome with her new work. My shifts increased temporarily to cover for Miharu, but with exams finally closing, I needed to put my back to studying. So Saotome hired a new part-timer. I could continue my studies, supported by those around me like that. So it wasn't very good to be visiting Miharu's room like this, but she rolled on her side and invited me over. The truth was I couldn't shake her off when asked like that. Oh no. You know there's gonna be a sex scene CG later. You don't know how I know? Because of the ass. And the fact that he's right behind her. Being complimented doesn't make me that happy.
しないの。私が喜んでるんだから、それでいいでしょ。
I straddled on top of Miharu on her stomach and massaged her hips, shoulders, etc. This time where she left herself to me as I tended to her had become a daily routine. A good amount of time had passed since it began at her request. Thanks to that, I had a firm grasp on where she liked it. Honestly, more than this, I wanted to memorize the subjects for the tests. I'm a former student, you know, you have no intent to be considered towards someone studying for exams.
さやとかならそうかもしれないけど、アキトは特別なのよね。専属マッサージ師とか
That's what I am to you!
いいじゃない。アキトだって悪くないでしょ。少しくらい息抜きしたって罰当たんないわよ。
The one taking a breather shouldn't have been the one doing this. Okay, so if I get rejected from the school I want, how will you take responsibility for
ア
it?
キトは賢い子だから大丈夫。
And what basis is that
で
on?
もほら、別に今のままで行き詰まってるとかそういうことはないんでしょ。
Well, things are going smoothly for now.
あんたは前からバイトしながらちゃんと勉強して部活でも大事な役目をちゃんとこなして挙句に一大プロジェクトを成功させた。そんな経歴の持ち主なのよ。元からそのあたりうまくやれるタイプって。
Thinking about it, like, he does have a very good VC, does he? Not VC. What's it called? CV. That one. Like, let's just say track record. Like, he was one of the people that made that huge project a success for a very long time. He's basically been living on his own for a very long time at this point. He's been also working part-time while studying, and you know that also can contribute to this. Basically, he's able to handle a lot of tasks simultaneously pretty well.
だから私のお墨付き。根拠はこれで十分でしょ。
I lost the motivation to return to her
あ
smugness.
れね、就職の時とか面接で言うといいわよ。サークルでリーダーシップを取った経験がありますとか。
Noted, but before that is exams.
受験ってそんなに楽しい？息抜きも必要なんだからね。もうちょっと強くしちゃっていいから、それでストレス発散しなさい。
You just want me to do it. There! I pushed on her hips with a lot more strength than before. Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this. Hold up! Hold up! Hold up! Hold up! Whoop! It's taking longer than I expected. Well, from your reactions for the most part.
デスクワーク大変だからね。アキトも気をつけなさいよ。
In a way, you could say that I'm currently doing desk work. Just that, you know, I don't make a living up of this. I can gotta tell by looking at you.
そう、教師やってた時だって。あの頃に今のアキトがいたらな。
Quit saying weird things. It's fine, isn't it? That was then, this is
わ
now.
かってる。ま、そんなものね。いい感じ。やっぱりアキト、うまいわ。
Appreciated.
これなら受験失敗しても指圧師になれるんじゃない？
Is he on Hiroshi's level, though? Does he have the massaging skills of Hiroshi? not, why you bother? You're the only person I know that'd be happy about that.
そうね。じゃあ、やっぱり、私専属ね。他の人には、渡さないから。
Despite sarcasm, I didn't feel like that would be so bad deep down. Would definitely be some good relaxation to spend time together with Miharu like this, leaving no stone unturned and making her happy. Saying it directly would just be a little embarrassing.
Miharu, おかえり。
I don't know. Then the door flew open and the manager entered.
なに、母さん。今ちょっと忙しい。
またそうやって空見くんを使って、受験生なんだから配慮してあげなさい。
大丈夫。ちゃんと了承取ってるから。も
う、空見くんも嫌ならきっぱり突き放してもいいんだからね。
That's okay. I'll be sure to say things before things get dicey. I'll be sure to say before things get dicey.
まあ、ならいいわ。一応疲れてるでしょ。お茶入れたから。
はい。そこ置いといて。今のいい感じ。
空見くんもしばらくここにいる？お茶持ってこようかしら。
If you don't mind.
待っててね。まったく、ここまで仲良くなるとは思ってなかったよ。
Manager set down the tea and left, mumbling something in a small voice. Now then, any other requests?
足も疲れた。太ももからふくらはぎまでお願い。
Understood. Spent my break in her room for a while after that. It was probably better to fit in time to relax like this, rather than straining myself to study around the clock. I satisfied myself with that logic. The time spent approaching the diet, she lessened as well. Winter vacation came after the second semester. After that, we went full force into exam studying, so third years almost never came to school in the third semester.
おーす。
Hey Taka, how's it going?
いつも通りだな。
I met Takichi in the hallway after class. At a glance, he gave off the aura that he was killing
どっ
time.
か行くのか？
So I'd stop by the astronomy club for a change.
暇だし、ついてっていいか？
I don't mind, but what about
さ
basketball?
っき後輩と話してた。でももう、実質 OB だからな。
Third years retired everywhere as it became fall. I too already entrusted Yamada with the role of president and distanced myself from their activities. Takichi retired as well with the summer tournament as his last. We were both focused on exams
勉
now.
強はどうよ？はかどってるか？
For the most part, it's going alright. Miharu told me I've always been good at handling that stuff. I might be surprisingly talented. He spoke with full awareness of my boasting. He wouldn't be happy about being praised, and it was from my old teacher who always helped me. She's always going on about how tired she is and pesters me for massages. She may have found work, so maybe that's just how she is.
マッサージ？
Yeah, but it's a nice break for me, so I always go along with her.
そうか。
We hit the club room while chatting like always. Takichi's docile face bothered me, but maybe he was just sentimental after retiring the basketball club. We had a familiar room, then entered together after We arrived at the familiar room, then entered together after knocking.
ほや、元部長。それにコロナのお兄さんも。空見先輩、こんにちは。久々ですね。
Hey, we were free, so we came to say hi. How are things going?
順調ですよ。それじゃあ部長、この書類出してきます。はい、よろしくお願いします。マイヤのきらめきをマイヤのきらめきを胸に。
Whoops. After a salute-like pose, first years left the club room. A unique culture was being built under Yamada's leadership.
コーヒーでも入れます？
No, I'll get it myself. You too, Taka?
あ、サンキュー。
I got some coffee and relax. Though I retired, the club room I spent 3 years in was still deeply familiar. I took a load off with respectfulness in mind. This brought back various memories. Takichi and Yamada probably felt the same.
受験勉強ばかりでは心もすさむでしょう。気が済むまでくつろいでいってください。
Thanks for the concern. Things are going alright for now.
別にこいつは大丈夫だろう。 三春先生に癒されてるってよ。
そういえばそうでした。最近の師匠はとても生き生きしています。
Instructor? What?
師匠？
Ah, that's me.
元部長、今はバイトの技術を享受してくださる師匠ですので。
What? Don't you have any other names? Something normal like senpai would be fine. She's the new part-timer.
そうですか。割と気に入っていたのですが。
The part-timer who came to help at Saotome with Miharu working and me studying was actually Yamada. She offered to help when she heard we were hiring. Without her, the store wouldn't have been able to function. It really helps me out how hard you work, Yamada.
まだまだ若輩です。先輩の域に達するにはまだまだ。
The manager was happy we were so nice and earnest. Lets me focus on studying.
そう言っていただけるならありがたいです。先輩は私にとって今でも尊敬する人ですから。
And the classmen that respect you, that's not something I've ever experienced.
だから先輩は勉強に励むなり、早乙女おじいの世話をするなり、自由にしていてください。
That last part is only because I'm being asked to. I'm just going along for the ride.
その割にはいつも楽しそうです。店長もそう言っていましたよ。
Well, I don't hate it.
でしょ？先輩はきっとどちらかといえば尽くすタイプなのでしょうね。
Hikari's after story says that as well.
まあそうでもなきゃ三春先生の相手なんてできねえしな。
Their gazes were somewhat warm. I sensed a thoughtfulness, almost affectionate, attentive.
しかしアキトが三春先生と本当にくっつくとはな。
Sticking to her? That's... Huh?
でも先輩の初恋の人なんですよね。一途というのも悪くないのでは。
でも先生だぞ。最初は冗談かと思ったっての。
What?
先輩は生粋の天文好きですし、日頃から万年億年のスケールに触れていると、十数年の時差もさまつに思えるのでしょうね。
なるほど、そういうもんか。
しかし親公認の同棲というのも改めて考えるとすごいですね。ロマンを感じます。
What the fuck is happening?
あまりからかってやんなよ。こいつ根は真面目だからよ。
素敵です。宇宙の物理法則を支配する4つの力、それを超えるのは人の感情から生み出された愛という名の5番目の力。
I was not expecting this to be so long! Wait, hold on.
先輩どうしたんですか？
I just realized. Where was this conversation coming from? Sticking to her? What?
文字通りの意味では。
アキトは先生と付き合ってるんだろ？
That's the first I've heard of it.
は？
Oh my god. Something tells me that Miharu secretly spread that. Like he's mine. My dearest friend's words shocked me greatly. They completely ruled my thoughts even after returning to my room. I started a relationship with Miharu without even knowing it. What the hell? Calm down, just calm down. I'll confirm it. Hang on, it wasn't something like this spread around before too. I knew exactly who the source was. I took my phone with a trembling hand and contacted her. I have something to ask of you, Hikari. Did I just accidentally go full Seteth? I have something to ask of you.
何かな？
Could you possibly have spread another witch rumor?
何のことかわかんない。
Taka said I was dating Miharu today.
それで？
And? Who in the world said we were in the first place?
付き合ってるでしょ？みんな知ってるよ。
Everybody?
うつらぼしメンバー。
Situation might have been far grimmer than anticipated. Why?
もしかして隠れて付き合ってた？ごめん。前にデートしてたの見かけてみんなに教えちゃった。
Date?
二人でプラネタリウム行ってたじゃん。腕も組んでたり。
It couldn't be that day. Invited her to the Planetarium, conveyed my apology and gratitude, comforted her as she cried. But it wasn't a date or anything. We just walked around Harbor Town together, went to a cafe and cried together. Huh? Wouldn't that definitely be a date? Third observer?
でもそれから、アキトってよく先生の話してたから、てっきり彼氏アピールしてたのかと。あれ？私悪くないじゃん！
Seriously? For real? Now that I thought about it, I felt like I definitely kept up some troublesome behavior the past half year. Listen, stay calm. Miharu actually started working again.
本当？どうしてそんな、何かあったの？
I convinced her with Morito's help, though.
そうなんだ。じゃあまた先生に戻るの？
No, she'll be a staff member at the Planetarium at Harbor Town.
そっか。よかったね。あっくんもお疲れ様。
I reported to everyone that she found work again with profound happiness.
バイトが増えるって？
Yeah, Miharu's started working, so we're down on hands at
じゃ
Sawatome.
あ、天文部の活動もあまりできなくなったり？
I'll do the best I can. I'm retiring in the summer anyway, though, so that's how it's gonna be.
でも、早乙女先生のためでしょ？なら頑張れ！応援してるから。
Thanks. Watch Miharu too while you're at it.
確かに最近の秋にって、みはるちゃんのことばっかアピールしてるね。
Clearly expressed my intention to support her with all I had. Of course they'd misunderstand. It was dubious whether it even was a misunderstanding in the first place. But still, this was Miharu we're talking about, an adult on a different level from us. Wasn't this bad in various ways? Well, it didn't Takeichi quibble about that, but Yamada satisfied him with some logic he didn't get. And everyone was treating us like lovers with that in mind. That was how they saw me!
アキト？どうした？
What did they do? What should I do?
明るいうちのキッタくん。残業がない日って素晴らしい。
Miharu's cheery voice startled me. It seems she got home early today. I heard footsteps stomp up the stairs and draw nearer. Sensei, Miharu came
わ
home.
かった。じゃあまたね。
たったい
She opened the sliding door and brazily came in as I thought she
まー。あ
would.
と、調子はどう？勉強はかどってる？今日は私も機嫌がいいから。どうしたの？そんな変な顔して。
Miharu? There's something I want to talk about later.
Atashi to Akitoが付き合ってる？
After that, I contacted several people and received many similar-looking responses. And at night, I told Miharu. She widened her eyes in pure
ど
shock.
こからそんな話が出てきたのよ。
Today we went to the planetarium together. Hikari saw us. And it seems she told everyone we were on a date.
ほうき星め。おかしな真似を。後でとっちめてやる。
But you threw stuff out about my first love before, didn't ya? What about that?
それはそれ。これはこれ。あれは半分冗談だったし。
It wasn't very funny to me, though. The way my social life was toyed with still lied fresh in my memory.
で、どうするのよ。誤解を解いて回るの？
She read my expression while wrinkling her brow. This wasn't something she could play off or laugh about like always. She lived honestly now as a respectable adult. That's a question. I cooled my head and thought about it. I straightened my posture and Miharu looked even more confused. It took some time after hearing everything and managed to calm myself somewhat. Didn't reach any conclusions, but I needed to convey how I was thinking now.
何よ、そんな改まって。
A relationship. What is it?
続けて。
It originated from Hikari, but everyone seemed to accept a romantic relationship in their own ways. Well, by looking at us, that
ど
is.
ういうこと？
Ever since then, supporting you has been my number one. Even in front of everyone, I think I acted overtly. I talked about nothing but you and stuff. It made me think it was probably inevitable that it would be taken as us dating.
そんなこと言われても、毎日仕事頑張って、疲れて帰ってきて、仕方ないからアキトに甘えて、マッサージとかしてもらって、そしたら、明日は頑張るぞーって元気が出てきて。
Just like she finished talking about. Oh, fuck, it's like I'm a married woman.
うわ
starting to date? What is happening? I probably look the same.
そうなんだ。うわー、なんかはずい。
I wondered if maybe you were seen in the same way.
そうね。母さんが私たちを見る目がやけに優しかったのって、そういう意味だったのかも。それに、プラネタリウムの人も、そういや、私が大泣きしてるところ、他にも見てる人いるはずだし。ちょっと、どうすればいいの？
She covered her face and rolled on the floor. It was kind of cute. So, what should we do?
私に聞かれても、とにかく誤解を解かなきゃ。ムツラボシの連絡網とかあるの？
So, it really is a misunderstanding, I guess.
だってそうでしょ？だいたいほら、あんたに迷惑でしょ？
A bother?
私も結構な年よ。そんな相手と恋人だとか。迷惑でしょ？
Whoops, fuck. That's true. Thinking normally a rose-colored relationship like lovers didn't fit us. For some reason, Miharu declaring it a misunderstanding made me lonely. It wouldn't really feel like a bother. You're important to me, and it's true that I want to support you. If that was, well, seen in that way, maybe it's not so off base.
あ、きっと。
Would that be a bother to you?
それは。
I might have gotten serious a long time ago. I conveyed it in a roundabout way, but it probably got through to her. Because she didn't dispel it as a joke and really listened to my words while her cheeks reddened slightly.
勘違いだったりはしない？ほら、秋人くらいの年なら若気の至りとか。
I did consider that.
そうよ。冷静になればきっと。
But still, there's something I've thought over for half a year. I don't think filing this away as a mistake is right.
何これ？どうして私がこんな展開に？
What about you, Miharu?
私だって感謝してるし、確かに魅力的だって思わなくもないし、好きか嫌いかで言ったら間違いなく好きな方だけど。でも、ほら、常識的にもっと若い子の方がアキトにはふさわしいというか。
Sensible, huh?
ほら、私なんかとくっついてみんなに後ろ指刺されるようになったりとか。私のせいでアキトがそうなるのはなんか嫌だなって。
An entire group of people for half a year has thought that they were dating, yet nothing like that happened. This argument doesn't work anymore. Everyone seems to be relatively on board in that sense.
逃げ道なし？
So I don't think there's any need to mind. Not because everyone accepted it, but at the very least, putting appearances above my own feelings felt wrong. So, well, if you're okay with it...
開き直っちゃえって？
Yeah. What do you think? I timidly asked. I feigned calm, but my pulse had fairly quickened.
まさか、私とアキトがこんなことになるなんて。
We met as student and teacher. After that, we were nothing but housemates, indifferent to romance. And thus, we became lovers. My life was changing beyond my wildest expectations, to the point that it shocked even me. But it was the path I wished for and chose. I didn't attempt to deny that.
あれ？でもこれよく考えたら、寿大社のチャンス？
Because I wished to stand her back up, because I carried that thought. From now on, I would be by her. Miharu, did you say something?
なんでも。とにかく分かったわ。自分の気持ちも、アキトの決意が固いってことも。でも、別に嫌な気分じゃない。むしろ、すっきりしたわ。
Her face was red again, but bright. She must have resolved herself.
私は受け入れるわ。あんたの恋人に。いえ、むしろ、結婚だって大歓迎。これでいいでしょ
Unexpected words fluid. Maybe was she that keen? Happiness mixed with surprise. Seems my confession was accepted. Thank you.
よしじゃあ、早速
If that's the case, Miharu, please wait.
え
I can't say I'm suitable for you right now. Couldn't make this promise unless I was a responsible adult. Loving someone, continuing to stand by their side. In order to make those words a reality, I had to first become a mature, worthy person. At least until I finish exams and decide on college. But yet, until I graduate and enter society. No, maybe making you wait that long would be bad.
アキト別に私は今すぐでも大歓迎
At any rate, please wait a little longer. When that time comes, Firmly gripped both her shoulders and stared sharply at her. I'll convey my words to you again.
はい。待ってます。
She replied in a tender voice. Phew. I was expecting this to be so long! Help! The flow of time never changed or stagnated. Should I just stop? I'ma just stop. See you next time. Bye-bye.